looks like it is time to play some Dungeons and Dragons. Welcome back, everybody. It is once again time to get into our Waterdeep Dragon Heist campaign. Thank you for being here. It's been a little while. I haven't seen you guys in a while. It's been kind of hectic and busy with the release of 76 and everything else going on in my personal life. I haven't really been around like I would like to, but we're here. We're playing our Stealing Dragons game tonight, which I'm super excited for. Thank you for tuning in. We're not going to waste any time. We're going to jump right into it and get this thing rolling. Havoc, are you ready?
I'm always ready. Just kidding. No, I'm not.
I'm always ready.
That's
except for when everyone else is ready. That's when I'm ready.
All right. Kick it over to you.
Alrighty. So, as is now customary, I think we'll have a retelling of last session's events from Viz, from his perspective, although it's going to be a bit interesting to hear what he saw based on, as we all remember, events unfolding last time. So, whenever you're ready, Steve.
So, we're looking at this big warehouse thing. This place is super dark. There's smashed windows and all sorts of stuff. But the rest of this neighborhood seems a little strange. But I think we're alone. So, we're going to go up to the house and see if we can get inside. We weren't able to get inside through any sort of windows or doors or anything like that. The door was locked, so I unlocked the door. It seems like I'm pretty good with these thieves' tools, I found out. But anyway, as soon as we opened the door, I think I heard monkeys inside. It was the strangest noise. I closed the door. Monkeys sound terrifying. Kai and Risk said we have to go in anyway. Inside, there were a bunch of kenkus. So kenkus are these crazy little birds that I've never seen before. They don't say anything unique. They just copy what other people say. So they would copy this guy talking, and he was all, rah, 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 follow the yellow signs in the sewer, and tie up the pretty boy. No time to loot this place. Just get him to the boss. But they all had these very distinct accents. It was very cool. I wonder, like, how many voices they can remember, and if they might say a certain phrase that correlates to something else. Like maybe they say, "Hey, that guy's got a great head of hair," but really what it means is hello. I don't know. Kenkus are neat. So anyway, we're inside this warehouse now, and there's a bunch of dead guys already. Like we didn't even kill these guys. Other people killed these guys, and then I think we killed the guys that killed these current dead guys. Super crazy. So I knocked one of these guys out with my quarterstaff, like just clocked him right in the side of the head, and he went straight to sleep. And then Kai knocked a guy out as well, and we questioned him. Oh, it was so cool. But then we found this guy locked up under the stairs. His name's Prince Neverember. He's kind of a douche, but it's okay. He has some information about Floon. They're close, they're buddies, and we're gonna go find Floon. We're going in the sewers. ... A couple dots later. It smells like poop down here. Anyway, we are now out of the sewers. We're investigating the sewers and being all sneaky, and we avoided a goblin, and then we started a fight, and I woke up somewhere else. I don't know what happened. Everyone says I definitely didn't die, though. But I definitely remember there being this freakish brain thing, and it had like claws and pincers and stuff like that, and there was this crazy monster with like tentacles coming out of his mouth. It was weird, and his skin was purple. Jot started talking about him, but I couldn't understand a word she was saying. She was like, aberration, and greatest evil ever, and will literally kill you. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. It was super weird, but anyway, what else do I need to say? You remember Volo? I talked about him earlier. Yeah, it turns out he lied to us. He really isn't going to pay us. But he's giving us the deed to a house. But every time we talked about house, it kept on getting bigger in size. First it was a house, then it was a manor, then it was a mansion. I'm worried next it's going to be a palace. Anyway, I think we're going to go check it out tomorrow.
Alrighty. So with the recent events of following the leads that you were able to discover by investigating this Zent hideout, venturing from there after the city guard came in to figure out what was going on, you decided to follow your leads into the sewers. We're presented with some alarming foes in front of you, though the scariest looking one, the one with tentacles for a face, seemed to not really have any time to mess with you, much to your fortune. But with the events concluded, you were able to save Floon and take him back to the Yawning Portal, where you met Volothamp once again. As Viz did say, he wasn't as forthcoming with everything that he had said before, but did promise that he did have payment in the form of one Trollskull Manor, as he calls it. And he said to get a good night's rest, your rooms have been paid for you to go ahead and sleep off your wounds and weariness. And if there's anything you would like to do in the night, if not, we'll continue on with the next morning.
Jot would have read through the book she picked up off of the half-orc before she went to bed. And
Okay.
then, did we share rooms? Did we each have individual rooms?
3 rooms were rented out for the party.
If we don't share rooms, Viz is going to ask to bunk with someone. He doesn't really like being alone, so.
Well, if someone was in my room with me, I would have then spent like 30 minutes freaking out about whatever was in the book, which I know about already. So I don't know if anybody else would have been. I don't know if Talia and I would have shared a room or.
Oh. That's up to y'all.
Talia wouldn't want to hear it. Should have put a pillow
Oh,
over
no,
her
I
head.
know. And there's this spell that lets me do this thing. It's so cool. Oh my god.
Actually, there is something Viz wants to do. Viz is going to find Kai. Hey, Kai. So, I don't like that Volo lied to us. Like, that, like, really, really hurts, man. Like I hurt before from, like, the brain and the face and stuff. But, like, when he was just like, oh, yeah, I know I misled you on purpose in the hopes that you would just accept this alternate payment, like, that really sucks, man. Should we be upset? Like, I feel like we just were like, oh, okay, great, a house. Super neat. And we were just, like, accepting it. I think we were just tired. Like, it's been a long day, but I don't know, like, should we just get used to this kind of behavior? Should we start making people sign contracts? I don't know. Yeah, he's a certified badass. He's writing another book, and he's gonna get like so much gold off of it. I don't know. I just want to see if I should be upset, if this is just the way life is, and you should just get used to it. There's just so much I don't know, and like, is this okay? It's okay for people to lie to us sometimes, as long as we're okay with the end result. Like, can I lie to other people and then give them something different than what they wanted, but still will make them happy? Okay, so I wrote, this is different than I'm used to, but step 1, be fluid, don't write more steps. Does that seem good? All right, cool. Thanks, Kai.
And this spell, you can literally set your hands on fire, and fire just like shoots out of your hands. And then this one, you can like make yourself look like a completely different person, and just like, holy shit, this is so cool.
Look at that blank stare.
Oh. What? Are we good? Are we okay?
I couldn't hear.
Oh no! Oh, I'm sad.
Jao went on a spellbook rant.
Oh my gosh.
Like, you would have had your ears plugged anyway. Just like,
Stealing at me. He's like, she was talking to you, and I'm like, I didn't hear anything. What?
Oh, no, I was just freaking. I was just like, this one you can shoot fire out of your hands.
That's nice.
And then you just continue to just be like.
Does Talia just like find a bath every night and just sit in the water all night?
I feel like she would have missed herself, just like those people do that have like the Aquafina spray. They're like, I'm refreshing my skin. I feel like that's how she would be, just like refreshing herself with the spray. I hope none of you guys use that and I just insulted you.
Havoc pulls one out and just starts hosing down his entire face.
All I can picture is the moisturize me from Doctor Who.
Moisturize me.
This is done until the long rest.
Samesies.
Risk wandered out to kind of do some things on his own.
Some things.
Poor Bonnie, the bartender.
Oh, no.
All right. So you were looking for people employed in the soft trade. It's called in Waterdeep. Risk.
I,
This is Steven asking to clarify. Are you looking for hookers?
correct.
Okay, just want to make sure I correlate the trade with the right thing.
Is there a hard trade as well?
There are different classes of the soft trader. The soft trader is just kind of the general aspect of it, whereas there are ones that kind of do different things. There are lower classes, middle classes, higher classes of this. Have street walkers, ones who just have no establishment that they go back to. You have high coin lasses or ladies, or gentlemen, of course. But even then, they have professions within it as well. There could be a arcanatrix or an arcanator, ones that employ magic in their trade during the process. Concubines, courtesans, escorts. Lots of different things.
You should be taking notes
for. Anything you're looking for, they do exist out there.
Do they have like a sampler sampler?
You don't have enough gold for that, man.
Probably be a little bit out of your budget. With your current gold supply, you're probably looking for a concubine in the streetwalker category. That's probably what you could afford.
Take what I can get.
So with your respective events happening during the evening, you're able to get a good night's sleep. All of you pretty tired, some of you more so than others, after being brought near death during the previous evening. But you're able to go through the night without being disturbed, minus the sound of the bar down below you. The doors are pretty heavy and such and cut most of the sound out, but at one point during the night, the sound just kind of turns into a dull roar and it kind of lulls you all to sleep. But with that, you're all able to get a long rest in, and you wake up the next morning.
Does he make it back to the Yawning Portal during the night, or is Risk out all night? Because Viz, if they were bunking together, Viz would be up all night worrying. Like, oh god, where's Risk? He's not coming back. Oh no, we need to go find him. This is not okay.
Risk came back in the middle of the night.
All right.
With hair like that.
Had some rope burns on his neck, his wrists.
Did you visit Antria?
Just
Are you okay, Risk? I have an extra cure wound spell. Do you need a healing potion or something? Like, are you gonna be all right?
I'll be all set. Thank you, though. I'll keep that in mind for next time. These were more self-inflicted wounds of a manner of speaking. I'll be all right. Kind of feel like I have to make a con save.
I think he's wearing them proudly, strangely enough. So we all meet up in the tap room, I guess. What's the main floor called? Is it
It's
anything?
just
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the tap room.
Okay, yeah, the tap room. So we all meet up in the tap room. I assume we have breakfast and stuff. So Biz will be like, "So I guess you guys want to go look at the house today, right? The troll. What is it? Trollskull Alley on Death Lane or something?
Trollskull Manor.
Trollskull Manor. And it's near some pretty awful sounding names, right? Like streets.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's the only thing on
It's
the
highlighted on our-
agenda. Yep.
Yeah.
Could I maybe convince you guys to come and do something with me before we go to Trollskull Alley?
Perhaps.
in mind?
What is it you have in mind?
I want to go back to the warehouse. You know, the one with like 20 dead bodies in it, and the upstairs that we didn't even get to go look at.
So
Like,
we're just done with
I think it'd be
phrasing,
cool
right?
if we could go in
not
there
a
and
thing
like,
anymore.
look for some information, maybe the City Watch missed, and just find out more about this gang war and what we can do to not be associated with the gang war. I know you and Risk have connections with the Zents, but I don't want to come out looking like we're picking a side.
Tormidian, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I suppose I think it might be a bit risky, though.
I wouldn't be opposed to swinging by the warehouse and seeing what we can see, but while we don't want to take sides with the Zents or anyone, we also don't want to be spotted by the city guard too close to where they told us to stay the fuck away from.
And they absolutely told us to stay away.
I mean, I think that maybe if there was like only a few of them there, and maybe we could distract them and go inside, and I don't know. I have so many unanswered questions. Just there's so much I don't understand and I don't get. And Risk tried to explain it yesterday. Of like sometimes it's just the way it is. You just kind of got to go with it, and that's really hard for me. But I can try. But I don't know. I just want to find more answers. It's maybe. I mean, I'd hate to make you guys waste your time if you don't want to go. We can just go to the alley. Like I'd hate to go and not get in, or there be nothing there, and us waste half the day. So I'll let you guys decide. Just throwing it out there. I'm putting it out there. You tell me what you feel about it. You can throw it back if you want.
What I'll say is I want more information on what's going on. You don't just go in and slaughter a dozen Zents and have nothing come of it. I just don't want us to get in trouble with the guard. I don't want us to draw that kind of attention. But I'm not opposed to trying to find out what exactly is going on in town right now.
Would it get you to shut up if we all went?
Me? That's a good joke. Yeah. I mean, if I need to be quiet for a little bit so you won't hit me again, absolutely. But just entirely stop asking questions. There's so many questions that need to be answered out there. We can't just stop asking questions.
But it
I don't
totally
think I've
hit you.
ever hit you. Have you been dreaming about me?
Not physically, guys. It's the emotional punches. You guys call them daggers. I call them slugs to the face, but she stares them at me and they hurt.
It hurts me when I watch her do it to you too.
Thanks, man. I appreciate that empathy, Bane.
I wish I could say the same.
I think I wouldn't mind going by and seeing if it's heavily guarded, or if there's just like, if there's no guards, sure, let's go take a look. Or if only like one or two, I mean, I don't know. There wasn't very many ways to get in that place, though.
Well, let's go look. I mean, I picked the lock so easily, so if they just locked it again, I feel like I can easily unlock the door again. Let's at least look it out, right? We can check around the corner. Maybe you can send your owl, whose name I forgot.
Oh, Seamus.
Seamus, yeah, you could send Seamus above a block or something like that, and that way we don't like just, I don't know.
No, I think that's a good idea.
Okay, before we leave, is Bonnie working?
Bonnie is working, yes.
I want to see if I can wave her down and see how she's doing. Because she got knocked down and she got, like, hurt yesterday. And I want to see how she is.
Okay. So as you're sitting down, you see that the, kind of discussing amongst yourselves, you see that the Yawning Portal isn't quite as lively as it was the night before. When you were in here previously and spoke to Voltamp and such, and had your run-in with the troll and the sturgeon. There's only a few people here, only 6 or 7 total. It seems like this place is much more active during the evening hours than it is in the mornings. So you get a quiet breakfast in as you're all discussing what you want to do for the day. You didn't initially see her, but after your breakfast has been brought up by another woman, you do see Bonnie kind of moving forward. It seems like she's tidying her hair and such, and moves up, and you see Durnan now behind the counter, kind of lazily looking around the room and such. And as you look over to see Bonnie, you wave her down, and she runs up to you, or walks up to you rather, looking over at Viz. Say, yes, what is it that I can do for you?
I just wanted to see how you were. I mean, yesterday was pretty crazy with the troll and stuff, and you got knocked over and you got hurt. I remember you dropped the whole tray of drinks yesterday, and I just want to make sure you were doing okay.
As you ask that, she kind of smiles and chuckles a bit. She says, that's really not anything unusual here in the Yawning Portal. It's every other week or so, something like that happens.
Every other week.
I also really just wanted to thank you for the medicine you applied to me last night. I was not in a good place. I was blacked out, just barely could hear or focus on anything, and whatever you gave me, it really helped, and it helped me come back to consciousness, and I really appreciate you doing that for me. Just a total stranger. It was really kind of you, so thank you.
Hey, phrasing!
Say that, she bows her head to you and says, it was no problem, really. You were kind to me at,
Yes,
first when
thank
I
you
was
for the
serving your
follow-up.
table, and I appreciate that. And I try to look out for the more polite patrons that come here to the Yawning Portal, so it was no problem, really.
Fizz is going to kind of shake his hair. And if I remember right, Bonnie has like crazy bright red hair, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to make my hair like bright red, same length, just make it a really bright red, like right in front of her, just by shaking it. I'd be like, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I really like your hair color. And I'm going to walk.
As you do that, you see her eyes kind of raising and an eyebrow goes up. She says, that is a very neat trick. If you need anything, please let me know. That she,
Thanks, Bonnie.
departs from the table.
You guys like my hair color?
It looks great.
Thanks.
Looks really cool.
I'm
I think it's
gonna
awful.
lean over to Risk and say that's gonna end up getting us in a lot of trouble eventually.
I've got the feeling that we're heading for trouble one way or another with this crew.
Yeah, I don't have anything. So,
All
whenever
right.
you guys are ready to go.
So it's pretty early in the morning at this point, just after sunrise. As you're, like I said, as you're kind of sitting around, you do know that Volothamp did say he was going to meet with you in the morning to take you to see the place he's proposing for you to take as payment. But with that, you haven't seen him quite yet this morning, so if you would like to go to the dock ward again or wherever.
Before we go, I might go up to Durnan and just ask him to let Volo know that we went out to run an errand, but we'll be back by noon, hopefully. I don't know if that's a reasonable assumption.
Unless we're dead.
Unless we're dead. And so we'll just meet him for the house tour, hopefully at noon or something.
Okay.
How long is the walk to Fillet
Yeah, actually,
Lane?
that might be a good question.
Do what now? Sorry?
How long is the walk from the Yawning Portal to Fillet Lane? I really hope it's Fillet, because that's what I wrote down. Wherever the Zen warehouse
No, it
was.
was Candle Alley.
Oh, shit.
Candle. where
Yeah,
was
Candle
that?
Lane looks right on the map.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Candle Lane.
Yeah, Candle Lane. Yeah, it's not far at all. It's over a few blocks. It'll take you a
Yeah.
few minutes to get down there.
Decided.
But
Yeah, I think noon sounds like a good idea then. Sure.
So I'll just tell him that and ask him if he wouldn't mind if you see Volo, if you wouldn't mind just letting him know. We were gonna meet him in the morning, but we need to go run an errand, and I don't want to wait. And so if you wouldn't mind just telling him, if you see him, that'd be great.
Oh, ooh, Jot, or tell him that we'll be down in 15 minutes. And then we'll just show up really, really late. It's fine. He did it to us.
Oh.
We tell him one thing, but then we give him something different.
I feel like you've learned the wrong lesson from the interactions with Volo, but
Oh.
we'll talk about it later.
Okay, cool.
with that, Durnan's just kind of watching you talk to each other, his eyes going back and forth, and he just shakes his head. Says, I'll let him know. You'll be back around midday or so.
Thank you. And thank you for the healing potion that you gave to my friend.
With that, he kind of waves his hand. He's like, it's considerate payment for helping me with those sturges earlier.
That was cool.
Thank you.
And scary. Alright, and I'll walk off.
Alright, so heading down to Candle Lane.
Mm-hmm.
Get your token. So as you make your way across the city, it's getting busy already. You know, it's still very early in the morning, but you see the streets are already populated with people going to and from to businesses or jobs, things of that nature. The city's very much already awake before you get there. As you're moving across...
Phrasing! Boom! Inappropriate.
TJ, thank you for the follow.
You okay?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just posted y'all's tokens really large and off the map.
I was gonna say, I remember when it was the giant version.
I thought for sure he spelled like beer all over his
I
keyboard.
know, or I thought I heard a dog bark, and I was like, "Oh God, he's being attacked by something."
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So as you're making your way down, you head down towards the south end of.
The dog's in the background music. I heard it that time, Shu.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, you make your way down to the south end of this of the castle ward. Is the Yawning Portal kind of lanes right on the intersection of the castle ward to the dock ward. You make your way down. You make your way down into the dock ward proper, heading down through, and once again you see the dock ward's a little bit
I hear the dogs.
in less repair than the other wards that you've seen in here in Waterdeep, but still very busy, very functional. You do get the scent of the seawater from the dock coming up to you, even at this proximity. But you head away from it a bit, over towards the Way of the Dragon, the main thoroughfare that moves through there, where you know Candle Lane to be. As you make your way down, you do see, much the same as the night prior, you see that all of the lampposts and everything along this lane are broken, except for one at the very end where the lamppost is broken, but this flame kind of floating in midair is still burning. And across from it, you see the warehouse that you went to before. As you approach up to the warehouse, you see that the small gate in front of it, or a small door rather, next to the large gate, is open. But you do see two city watchmen standing outside the front of the warehouse.
Like right where the door was.
Yeah, inside there. Just out of the way here. There we go.
Do they see us?
Could we have walked into a spot where they wouldn't see us?
Kind of difficult to do. The front gates are open, and then there's a wrought iron fence in front of them.
Well, how about before we got all the way up there, I would just send Seamus up and just look through his eyes and just see if there's any guards posted before we actually walk all the way up there.
Yeah, so as you move forward, you do see, like I said, the gates are open, much different than the night before, where everything was kind of closed before you made your way in. But you do see these two city watchmen kind of posted up. They're scanning the street in front of them, but not a lot of people for them to watch out for. Not a lot of people for you to blend in with either.
Is there like a tree branch or anything that Seamus could just sit on and like have a view of the guards?
No trees here. There are several buildings around it, kind of pressed very close together, that he could probably perch up on.
Okay, I'll just have him like perched to where he has like a view of the guards and maybe like just the street in general.
Okay.
Okay, so I see 2 guards, standing by the door, watching it. So I don't know what we want to do now. Let's kill him.
Someone try and seduce them. It's not my strong suit.
It'd have to be risk. I mean, it's up to you guys. Like, we can try and... I know you guys don't want to get involved with the city guard. I don't want the city guard to hate us. We don't have to try anything. If we can just go meet Volo. It's okay. Like, I'm okay with trying. Maybe not okay with just murdering them, but we could try and distract them. We can try and talk to them. We could just ask them if we could go inside, or we could leave. You know, I'm okay with whatever.
Would like to look inside there more.
Do we recognize if these are the same guards that were here last night, or was it a new shift?
Have Seamus do a perception check.
Sure. Does that work?
16.
As you're looking through the eyes of your familiar here, you're able to look down and you see a little bit closer to their faces through the vision of Seamus. You see that both of these men have a little bit of bags under their eyes. You don't particularly recognize them. You didn't, stare at anybody's faces trying to remember exactly who everyone was the night prior. But you do kind of get the feeling that, based on their weariness, kind of lazily looking around at the people in front of them, that they've probably been posted here all night.
Are there any windows on the second floor of this building?
There are to the north of your position.
But it
North
was
side of the building, the
blacked
second floor.
out and
Right.
Yeah, there was the point where the windows were so busted that even Seamus couldn't fly into them last time.
well, they were.
But-
I think they were just like boarded over or painted black or something to where.
I think the ones on the ground floor were painted black. Maybe the ones on top were boarded or something.
Oh, okay, something like Basically, I couldn't see through any of them. So yeah, so seeing that they look really tired, I'll just think these might be the same guards that were there last night. I suppose we could wait and see if.
Do you all trust me? I think I've got an idea.
What's your idea?
Can we help with the idea, or is it just exclusively solo? Because last time you had an idea, you were gone for 7 hours, and we have no idea what you're doing.
Talia is very intrigued on what Risk is going to do.
Risk has a plan, a non-violent one, about convincing the guards that after rescuing Nevermember last night, that he's hired us to come back and check out the property because he's considering buying it.
As you say that, Kai walks up, places his hand on your shoulders, and says, "I have faith in you. I'm sure you can accomplish this." And casts guidance on you.
Do it.
All right, I'm going to
Wait,
very
before you leave, hold on. Risk, I think you're great. I think you got this, man. I think you're gonna talk to these guys. You're gonna woo them. You're gonna wow them. If I can help, if you need like some orchestra music to play in the background, or like some smoke, or if you need like something dramatic, I have magic I can help with. Like we can make some cool noises, or if you need like an illusion of something, like not anything like a person, but like if you need like a fake rock or something.
I've got an idea.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, you're inspired as well. You're part of it.
And after all that, Kai once again places his hand back on his shoulder and says, "Don't worry, you have this," and recast guidance.
Okay, because an hour duration's up. Try again.
Wait, is guidance for an hour? I thought it was
I
only
don't
for a
know.
minute.
No, it's a minute. Yeah.
All right, I'm going to approach the guard. I'm going to very clearly announce that I'm here just not to sneak up on anyone.
I'm gonna watch the whole thing through Seamus for sure.
Okay.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. I don't think there we go.
So as you move forward, you see this wrought iron fence kind of surrounding it. The two large gates, obviously meant to allow wagons to pass through, are open. And as you approach, you see these two guards noticing you walking up, looking towards you. And as you get a bit closer, one of them holds his hand up, says, "Halt! What is it you need here, sir?"
Good afternoon. Or good morning, rather. I'm not sure if you two fine gentlemen were here last night, but we had kind of helped Prince Neverember out of a bit of a jam last night, and as a way to thank us, he's taken us on for some employment. One of the things he sent us to do is he's considering buying this place, and asked us on his behalf to come check out the establishment and try and see if it's worth his investment.
As you say that, you see the guard down here by the door looking at you and kind of tilting his head to the side. He says, "Well, if Lord Neverember wants to purchase the property, he's more than able to do so. But as of now, unfortunately, it is the scene of a crime and under our investigation for the foreseeable future. But by all means, if you would like to look at the property at a later date, it will be open to you, barring the current owners having any issues with it."
Of course. Could I just get your fine gentlemen's your names? Just I want to report back to Prince, the gentleman who told us we weren't allowed to fulfill his wishes.
Make a persuasion check.
Can you guys think of an environmental effect that would make something more dramatic?
A knife to their throat.
And guidance and bardic inspiration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and roll that
If
D4.
you need it. At least take the D4, yeah.
Yeah, definitely take the D4 because that's right now.
Because it'll wear off quickly.
Don't forget, I inspired you.
What does inspiration do?
You get to roll a
Tab.
D6. One D6. Or maybe, yeah, it's still a D6. It's respectable.
17.
18.
17?
So as you're saying this man's, sitting there talking to you and everything, and as you start to talk about, Lord Neverember, about having to tell about that, he kind of looks over at the other guard, and the other guard looks back at him and they kind of shrug. Say, "Well, no names are needed, my friend. We have no quarrel, of course, with any of the nobles here in the city. We're just, just trying to do our jobs. You understand, yes? Captain... why did I close that? Captain Staggett would, of course, have our heads if anything was disturbed within this place. We're just, once again, just trying to do our jobs. I think there needs any need to let the nobles about that. Let the nobles know about that, rather.
No, of course. Just the Lord gave us a job to do and told us to report back if there's any issues accomplishing it. But don't worry about it. We'll go grab him, and then we'll go talk to Captain Staggett about the situation.
No. You know what? If you're just looking around and looks over at the other guard, if you're just going to be quick about it and look for property, whatever you need to do, I could give you 5-10 minutes maybe or so. Yeah, that should be fine, right?
That's all we ask for.
With that, he nods to you, and the guards exchange looks again, and the guard standing next to you pushes open the door beside him. He says, "Be quick about it if you don't mind."
All right. Everyone, let's go.
Do we come out of hiding? Okay.
Where'd it go?
4 people come out from behind the building. Is it okay?
Ta-da!
So yeah, these other 4 people come out behind the building. The guards are just looking back and forth, and they look at each other, and they just kind of shrug and say, "Said they could go in. Oh well," and they let you pass.
I'm gonna grab Risk on the shoulder and shake him and be like, "That was so cool! That was awesome! Great job,
Couldn't have
man!"
done it without your help. You really got me into you really made me believe myself.
I know my pep talks are good sometimes, but not that often. So I'm so glad this is one of the times. Okay, Jot, what do we do? We have 5 minutes. What do we do? I don't know. Okay, now I'm panicky. Now I feel overwhelmed. I'm feeling anxious. We're gonna run out of time. I don't know what to do.
No. It's okay.
I miss the sexy Viz.
So let's split up, because it's always a good idea to split up. Half of us go up the stairs, and half of us look down here.
Kai
I'll go upstairs.
Okay.
Kai begins heading towards the stairs as soon as we get in.
Are the bodies still down here, or are they been all?
Yeah, as you make your way in, you do see a few bloodstains on the floor and such. All of it dried over now. You see none of the bodies that were lying, kind of pressed up against the walls and let set there that you saw when you entered here before. Nothing else has really changed. You see a few of the boxes and such have been kind of knocked over and searched through and rummaged through. You assume probably by the watch in their investigation the night prior. But don't see any bodies or anything, of course.
Okay.
So I'll take downstairs. Who else is going upstairs?
Risk is
going
going
up.
upstairs.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll
Rick-
take downstairs and okay.
Actually, Risk may stay down here if
There's 5 of us.
Talia and Kai are going upstairs.
Okay.
Risk doesn't want to have all the
The squishies down by themselves.
Risk is going to stick close to Jot and Viz.
Yeah, so Viz wants to look in the closet where Prince Neverember hid, and then also you had mentioned there were boxes and stuff on the outside because he knocked something out of one of the crates or something. It was like a jar of pickles or something like that. So that's kind of what Viz wants to look around. Maybe he dropped something in there or something.
Okay. So as you're looking around the bottom floor, you don't find anything really of use. You do see a few of these boxes hold this kind of cloth clothing, all of it just straight black all the way down. A little bit of hints of gray here and there, but that's about it. Don't see a whole lot of anything of use. You do see some storage supplies, things, dried meats, things of that nature, things you'd expect to be in a warehouse like this. In the storage closet, still spilled on the floor, you see this pickled herring, still kind of spilled out from the barrel that it was stored in before. The closet reeks. It smells very much and actually kind of worse than it did the night before.
I should have cleaned this up last night. Just gonna.
What do I see
shut
at
that
the
door.
top of the stairs here?
So as you walk up to the top of the stairs, you see that there's and you can all see this now with the daylight, there's a balcony kind of wrapping around the second floor of this place. Kai, as you're looking around, you see it's got a bunch of crates stacked up on each other. Not a lot of these have been turned over and such, but as you kind of look at them a little bit closer, you see that the crates kind of have these moth-eaten bolts of cloth, bottles of spoiled olive oil, and hundreds of these pairs of wooden-soled sandals that you all know that were on the rage. They were all the rage last summer, but have fallen out of style, unfortunately.
Okay.
I didn't. Could I have, while we were waiting for him to talk, ritual cast detect magic or no? I don't know if there's enough time.
From when you were outside?
Yeah, from when we were outside, and then just
It was
held it?
pretty quick because
Yeah,
he
that's
was
fine.
moving with blitz and stuff. So
okay. Just giving a quick look around. Anything else catch my eye? Anything? That's pretty much it. Just normal warehouse stuff.
yeah, lots of like I said, you see the tables and chairs in this room have been tossed around and such. A lot of the boxes and such have all been barrels have been tipped over. Some of their goods, these cloth and things of that nature, have been tipped over. But like I said, not anything catching your eye.
Seems more boring than it did last time.
Last time there was the thrill of the fight.
Yeah. Should we go upstairs?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Go upstairs.
I'm gonna send a message down to Risk and say I'm not seeing anything up here. It looks almost the same as what you have down there. I don't notice anything really out of place.
I can respond to that, right?
Yeah, you can.
was going to say, I think we should probably head out. I don't think we really have anything. I feel like if there was anything at the place, the guard would have found it last night.
As you're looking around a little bit further, Kai, you see the balcony kind of stretches off to the south here. You see what appears to be a boom arm of a crane to help, raise and lower boxes in and out of wagons and such over here. To your north, you do see one doorway leading off over here. But to your south, you see more boxes and barrels, things of that nature, assumingly holding the same.
So seeing the door, I'll head back in that direction. Take a look at it, see if I can tell if it's locked, trying not to make too much noise in here.
Yeah, it's just your passive perception. You're able to see that it's clearly unlocked. No, you do see a lock on it, but as you jiggle the handle, it turns all the way without issue.
Okay. Yeah, I'll go ahead and turn it and kind of take a look inside.
As you open this door, you see a few... Oh, let me move things. Let me play the game.
Let me do
You see desks and chairs before you, and as you're kind of looking at it, you're surprised, well, not that surprised, as you see a rat running towards you and then disappearing back behind and underneath some boxes beside you with a very quick squeak.
Yeah, not surprising. All right. I'll step into the room, see the two doors, and kind of hear Jot walking up behind me, and kind of point over to the other door and say, you grab that, I'll check here. If you run into any trouble, you let me know.
Okay. You said there was a desk somewhere?
There's desks and chairs in the middle of this room. As you're looking around it, you see a door off to the west that's also closed.
Our tokens.
Yeah.
Upstairs.
Yeah, just move to the stairs if you want to go upstairs. Are
you gonna look at the desk here?
As you're looking over around it, you see a door off to your west, and you also see a boarded over window up to the north.
Oh, that's a window. Okay, gotcha. While she is looking or getting ready to open the door, I'm gonna search through the desk.
Okay. So, Jot, you open this door. I'm gonna zoom in and out.
Yeah, it was kind of tricky to get everything.
Guys!
Up
Mrs. Walker, where are you?
I'm upstairs.
Pops his head over the balcony. Jot, you go back downstairs?
No, I'm right here.
Oh, hey. Oh, hey, I found you. God, I'm so worried.
Hey, I can move it. Yay. Okay. You see another, what it looks like an office beyond this door. Couple of desks in this one. You see that dust on both of these desks that you've run into, or all three of these desks rather that you've run into, have got dust across them. Kind of figured that nobody's really been using these recently. Kai is... they do have a few drawers, but you kind of start going through them, not seeing a whole lot. It seems, like I said, these not used at all. Kai, as you look inside this one, you do find one thing. You see a piece of parchment that seems to be kind of folded up, a bit origami-like, into the shape of a bird.
Okay, I'll just tuck it into my pocket and continue looking around.
Viz coming upstairs and seeing the office. He's in an office now, and is there a door connection, or is that a window at the top?
There's a window up to the top, once again boarded over. To the west, there are two doors.
Okay, I want to go through the bottom door, or one of the doors.
Okay. For the sake of expediency.
And I'm gonna open up the other one. Yeah.
Much the same as you move into these rooms, you see very plain-looking offices. The desks covered in dust and such. You do see a couple chairs, and they're the ones to the south that's been tipped over on it. Examining around the room, unfortunately, you don't find anything of use really here.
So looking behind picture frames, underneath the desk, underneath the chairs, pulling out the drawers, nothing.
Give me an investigation check. Yeah, nothing you're able to find, unfortunately.
All right. God, I feel like I just wasted our entire day. God,
No.
Fizz, you're so stupid.
All right. And yeah, I mean, if we've done a thorough search and nothing's, I mean, I'll roll an investigation if you want me to. But if there's nothing to really find, then I'll just.
Yeah, if you want to look a little closer, go ahead and roll an investigation check.
Okay. We're the most investigated.
Much the same as you're looking around, you open up the desk drawers and such, each of them having 2 drawers, one on the left and the right. Just dust, you see a spider crawling around in one of them, you quickly shut it back, and you're like, oh, no. But yeah, nothing really of value. It seems like this upper floor wasn't really being used by anyone.
Kai, what'd you find up there?
Yeah, find anything?
We'll discuss it when we get out of here. We should leave before they get suspicious.
Good call. Good call. All right.
So yeah, I'm gonna start making my way back downstairs and out of the building as quickly as we can. Yeah.
Every time. Liking my way just triggers that song in everyone's
I know. I can't hear that phrase. I can't hear "making my way" without immediately going to that song every time.
Which sort
Terry Crews version, though.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't know if I've seen this.
Before we get outside, I just gonna be like, I'm sorry, guys. I was hoping to find like paperwork or ledger. I don't know. You read about them in books. It's like you go to the bad guys and you find the incriminating evidence, and then you take
We
them.
actually found out something very interesting, but we'll talk about it in just a minute.
All right. Wait. Before we leave, can I steal a Zentarum outfit?
Sure.
Right, that's what's all the crates, the black and gray clothes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'd like one of those.
Okay. Yeah, 100%. Able
Is
to get
is it like just a shirt? Is it tunic and legs or hats?
Make an investigation check. Yeah, as you're looking through, you're able to find a tunic as well as this kind of a cloth undershirt. Both of them painted or dyed black, rather. You find pants going all the way down to the ankles and such. Yeah, you're able to find one that seems like it'll fit you quite well.
I mean, if not, I'll just make me fit it.
That's true.
All right, cool. So I'll add that to my inventory. I'm good.
Okay.
All right.
I think we're leaving now.
Talia's gonna lean into Viz and be like, will you shut up about this place now? Are you happy?
I mean, no, I kind of was, because at least we tried, but now you're making me feel bad about it.
As we step out through the door, I'm gonna thank the City Watch and kind of just continue on.
So as you do so, they kind of nod at you, still kind of staring oddly at all these people when only one person was initially there. But they nod and they see Risk walking out, and they say, "I hope you were able to investigate it to your heart's content.
Hey, Renzo.
Please, keep in mind that we're always willing to help out friends of the nobles and such here in Waterdeep."
Gentlemen, I'm going to put your names in for commendation for your help to the royalty and the nobles of this town.
With that, they nod and say, "Oh, you would probably need our names for that." I am. With that, he points to himself. He says, "My name is Glyn Murnask, and this is my friend here, Jelum Bosto."
Pleasure to meet you, gentlemen. Keep up your fine work for the city. You're appreciated.
Glenn and what was the other dude's name?
Jelum.
Chelum?
Oh, nope.
Oh.
That was so far
Hel-
off.
Hel- Thanks, boys.
All right. With that, you make your way back out. The guards kind of thankful for you not ratting them out or anything, even though they were just trying jobs. But with that,
Didn't murder them though, did we, Havoc? Did we?
that would have been fun
Oh god.
for me.
Could have.
So yeah, you make your way back out into the dock ward, heading up Candle Lane. So as you make your way towards the end of the candle, or into the lane rather, you see the streets starting to get a bit busier around you and such. The notice of wagons and such and people beginning to pick up around you. You see it's even with just a few minutes passing for you going in here, the city just keeps getting more and more lively. As you're looking around, you know it's kind of cool in the morning. Not uncomfortably so, but definitely maybe a light jacket kind of weather. You see that there's a bit of a mist, a fog hanging in the air. You kind of assume that maybe it rained during the night while you were sleeping. But it'll probably burn off before the day gets too far in. What do y'all want to do?
First thing I want to do is I want to look at this origami bird, and I want to memorize exactly how it looks.
Okay. So as you're looking at it, as you're looking at it, kind of seeing it, you see the different folds of this paper. Appears to be a regular-sized piece of parchment. However, it's been folded up with these two wings aside of it, the arching head of a crane or something along those lines at the top of it. You're able to get a decent feeling that how exactly it's been folded over and such.
Okay. And once I have kind of added that to memory, I'm going to slowly start to unfold it as we're walking.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Okay.
So as you're opening up this parchment, unfolding each crease of it and everything, you see that as you unfold them, getting up to about where you've gotten one of the wings unfolded and such, kind of going backwards in this folding, you see that the paper is completely wrinkle-free as you do so. There's no crease for these bins. And as you go fully through the paper, unwinding each different crease and fold, it comes out to a full-size 8 by 5 by 11 piece of parchment in front of you. Nothing written on it, but you see that it's completely smooth.
Well, it's certainly magical. Kind of say under my breath as we're walking, like I haven't shown this to anybody yet, so I'm kind of imagining he's like at the back of the group, kind of toying with this, and then after it unfolds, he's just like, "Oh, great, wonderful."
Okay, where y'all headed?
Back to the Yawning Portal.
While we're at the Yawning Portal, I want to play with the magic paper.
Yeah, as we get to the Yawning Portal, I will obviously let everybody know what this was. Tell them that I believe that I can remember how it was folded, but this was the only thing that I could find, and obviously it has some sort of magical property to it.
Can I write on it?
I don't know.
No, like I'm asking permission. Can I write on it?
I look to the others to see if they give you permission.
Can I look at it first?
Yes, of course.
10 minutes.
Of course.
Okay. I'm gonna ritual cast detect.
Okay. So as you're walking along, this piece of paper being handed over from Kai, Jot, you're able to look at it and kind of get a attunement towards it, or not attunement towards it, but
As a cool shit, she attuned to paper.
Some badass paper. But you were
You've been full wizard.
You're able to definitely tell that this paper does have some magic radiating from it.
Mm-hmm.
But you would, give me an Arcana check.
School of magic?
Yeah, you would know what school.
I can roll an Arcana check.
Transmutation. Yeah, roll an Arcana check, see if you recognize what this is.
Oh, come on.
It's
definitely magic.
Yeah, you've heard about items, and especially after Kai tells you of how it was folded over and such in this visage of a bird. You recognize this, and you're like, oh yeah, I've seen these before. It's a magical item called a paper bird. Basically, you can write a message on it, 50 words or less, and then speak a creature's name. And the parchment will magically fold itself into a paper bird and fly to the recipient's name that you stated.
Oh.
They have courier pigeons.
That's awesome.
Magic.
Magic courier pigeons. Can I write on it?
Okay, and then it. Okay, and it wears off. Okay.
I just gave you the handout for it.
Oh, perfect. Cool. I was just googling it.
All right, so as Jot's kind of figuring this out, the rest of you are able to make your way back towards the Yawning Portal. As you arrive, you see that it's, about an hour or so has passed in your travel to and from, as well as investigating. It's still pretty early morning, not quite midday yet, but you make your way inside, finding the table you were sitting at still empty. But you do see up at the bar sits Volo, as well as a couple other people you've met recently. You see Raynar and Floon are also sitting at the bar.
So there's not a way for us to know what was written on this previously, correct?
No.
Okay. And is it's still magical though?
It is, yes.
Alright, well in that case, I'll just tell everyone else what I remember about them being, and then give it to Viz. Because I think he'll think it's the coolest thing.
Can I keep it?
Sure. I don't mind.
Is it what happens after it sends a message? Does that person get to write on it and have it send another message? Or is it a one-time bird?
I think it's a one-time bird.
Yes.
Okay, because I was gonna write you a message and watch it fly to you, and then you could write me a message.
So
and
cool.
But it'll explode in flames. So I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna tuck it in between the pages of my book, and I'm just gonna stare at it and play with it and fold it and watch it not get a crease, and then at some point take it over to Kai and ask him to fold it into a bird.
I totally expected you to write "You're an asshole for lying to us" and sending it to Volo.
If it was more than a one-time use, I probably would. I would dick around with it between us first, right? Like Kai would whisper to me, I'd pull out the bird, and I would respond via bird.
Fly it over to Oh my god, I just want a whole bunch of these.
Jot, can you recreate that? Can you make it a gun?
Teach me how.
So we can
teach
play
me
to
how
the
to make
bar owner?
it.
That would be so cool. Oh, could I make something?
Viz, can I have the piece of paper back, please?
Yeah, can you make it a bird? That seems super convenient to store it.
Sure, yes, I
hand
certainly
it over.
will after hearing the former bar owner's name being mentioned by Risk. I'm like, yeah, we're not letting him get ideas of using this to send him a message.
Scarface was kind of a scary fuck.
I'll fly it over to Scarf.
I'm gonna watch Kai fold it into a bird and try and learn the pattern.
Okay. Make an intelligence check.
Me?
Yeah, if you want to learn.
Let's see how well we can.
Oh, just a straight intelligence, right?
Yes.
That's why I couldn't find under skills.
Okay.
You get a good understanding as you're watching him fold it. He does it kind of slowly, being his first time going, reverse engineering it into this bird form. So you get a good idea that you could probably replicate it.
Can I have it back? Please. I'll keep it really safe in my book. You know how much this book means to me.
I slide the bird across the table to him.
I tuck it into the pages in my book.
Okay.
Thanks, Kai.
Anyone else noticed that was a Zent warehouse, but there was nothing there? Zents are a mercenary gang, but there was no rooms, no
There was nothing.
barracks. It was just an empty warehouse. Something, and it didn't really seem like if a dozen Zent men got killed, there would have been a little more destruction in there than that. Something doesn't add up about that place. I think that they were killed and brought there. I don't think that they died in there.
I can't believe we didn't find. I mean, those offices were unused. Like, I get it. Like, you're a gang. You probably don't have great bookkeeping, but what's the point of having multiple offices? They were just super dusty and dirty. Like, that makes sense. Risk. What if they haven't been using that warehouse? What if it was like a staged thing? Like, we found nothing there. I found some clothes, so if we ever need to, I can pretend to be a Zent or
yes,
Zent. Yeah,
for one too.
but I know it's strange.
Has Bonnie brought drinks yet?
She was getting off her shift when we left. Remember, she was leaving. We had to like wave her down on her way out.
So Talia, all of the waitresses are named Bonnie.
Do I have a beverage yet?
As you're all sitting down into the room and everything, once again you see that some of the same people you've seen before in here. You see a couple adventurers sitting over here talking to themselves, possibly maybe looking to head down into the Yawning Portal itself, down to Under Mountain. But you see Durin over there. Bonnie was actually starting her shift whenever you were getting ready to depart this morning. You see her zooming around, getting people drink, as well as breakfast and lunch or meals rather, to the different patrons here. As she sees you all moving in and sitting down, she finishes what she's doing, setting off a tray and everything. She moves down to your table. Says, "Welcome back. That didn't take very long. What is it you'll need?"
I'd like some coffee, please.
It would be good.
Can I take something like coffee, but a little bit stronger? Just a little bottle of something in it.
I too would like some coffee.
All right. So she looks around.
Just a little something in it.
She looks at Kai. Coffee.
Biz is trying to pick up Risk's accent.
Well,
She looks
this
over
is
at
Boston.
She looks over at Kai and says, "And for you?"
Yes, the same, please.
With that, she nods and, having your order, takes off to start preparing it. As you're all sitting down, looking around the room and everything, once again you see Volo, Raynar, and Floon sitting at the bar. You see all three of them already have mugs of ale in their hands, drinking, speaking to each other. And about time, Floon turns around and kind of with a wide-eyed expression looks back and says, "Ah, you've returned. Durden said you would be here for a little while, but I see you're back a little bit early." With that, he gets up and kind of walks over to your table, leaving the other two there, and says, "If you're still interested, of course, there's no rush and everything, but I would love to show you Trollskull Manor so that we can have this business concluded. I promise you'll want this payment more than the gold I promised you."
Yeah, I think we wanted to go ahead and see it. Our errand went all right, so.
What do you think, Viz?
Yeah, I mean, we should go look at the house. I think that's what we agreed to do. I think it's our payment for being the heroes and the start of our adventure. I think we should go check it out. I think it's a good idea.
I look over at Viz and say, "And we're keeping our word and doing what we said we were going to do. Is that correct?"
Yeah, of course. What else would we do?
With that,
This is like teaching morals to like a 5-year-old.
as you were saying that back and forth between Kai and Viz, you see Volo kind of following the conversation. He kind of raises an eyebrow. He says, "Well, I promise you that's the gold I would have given you, and I apologize once again for not being straightforward, but once you see the manor, you'll have no other thoughts about it. This I promise." He
Can't
definitely
wait to see it.
picked up on that.
Send a message to Risk saying no other thoughts because our skulls will be crushed by the trolls in the alley. Is that what we're getting at here?
Risk is just gonna smile. Where's our coffee?
So with that, as Volo finishes up, kind of asking you to join him to go look at Trollskull Alley, or Trollskull Manor rather. You see Bonnie returning with all of your respected drinks on a platter. She sets them down, kind of seeing that Volo's kind of shifting his feet back and forth, and he looks over and says, "Oh, we're about to leave, but of course we can wait for drinks." And with that, Bonnie kind of waves him off, says, "They can take him with it, and if need be, we have plenty of cups in the back. It's not the big deal." Of course,
cup, yay!
Yeah,
We can walk the streets with alcohol? It's like Vegas.
except
Or,
magical.
Oh crap! Jesus.
Do the cups have the tavern's name on them?
Nolan.
Says, yeah, stole this from the Yawning Portal.
It's kind of like it down here in Texas. Everybody always steals the Whataburger numbers whenever they give you a meal. They give you a little number thing. People just steal them to... I don't know why. Everybody knows why.
People just do them because they're terrible.
Coffee to go.
Yep, pretty much. All right. So with that, Volotep, seem to get permission for you to leave with your drinks and such from the Yawning Portal. He kind of motions us as well. If you're all ready, I would love to tell you a little bit about the place before we head down and show it to you myself.
I give Bonnie 1 silver.
I really have no grasp of the tipping. Like,
I don't know how much our coffee's worth.
appropriate.
I mean,
and our coffee's a little something, something. So I'm gonna give her silver. That seems like $10 or something.
Talia's just gonna take it because it's expected. They're staying there and it's included. In
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you don't have to pay it. No problem, Talia. Of course. Is that reasonable, DM? It's like $10 reasonable for our drinks.
Yeah, that would pay for almost all of your drinks. Like 2 silver pieces will pay for everything.
Okay, then I'll give her 3 silver pieces.
Okay. With that, Bonnie bows to you, thanking you for your payment, and she heads back off.
$20 for our drinks, guys. Jesus, we went to the Starbucks and freaking... I got drip coffee with a splash of whiskey, and they charged me 4 copper for it.
Well, Talia got, frappuccino.
But if I say anything about it, she's gonna punch me.
Super skinny, sugar-free, 120 degrees.
Soy milk in it.
Soy latte, almond, fat-free, extra syrup.
No whip.
Lots
who
of
was
wet.
it? Who was it that was
Sorry,
sitting?
lots of-
Who was sitting with Volo at the counter?
You saw
Floon and
Raynar
Raynar.
and Floon. Yes.
Riss is going to walk up to Raynar real quick and kind of inform him that he did drop his name to get back into the warehouse earlier, in case anyone asks about it.
Just, hold on, I think I need to inspire him again.
So as you say that, you see Raynar looking at you, and he says, why did you need to get back in the warehouse, may I ask?
Because something didn't quite add up to us, and we're afraid of more unfortunate circumstances occurring around that other warehouse to all the people involved, and we're trying to get an idea of exactly what the fuck happened last night.
With that, Raynar kind of nods, thanking to himself, and he smiles at you. He says, no worries then. If you were investigating what happened to my friend, then I have no quarrel with that. I do ask that if you were going to drop my name, maybe let me know beforehand. We're all friends here, and I don't mind having my name used by friends.
Of course, if I had had the time, I would have, but just it was kind of a spur-of-the-moment thing.
With that, he nods and says, well, and he turns around as he does so. He puts his arm kind of around Floon, who's already, at least a couple drinks in, as he looks over and kind of smiles at you. He says, and Floon gets up, and as he does so, you see, this somewhat princely garb and such that he's wearing has been cleaned up and such, and as he moves forward towards you, Risk, he sweeps his arm in front of him and does a very graceful bow to you. He says, to my rescuer, I thank you very much.
Risk returns the gesture. It was my pleasure.
With that, he laughs and he says, if you're staying for a little bit, let me buy you a drink.
Tell you what, we'll be back in a couple of hours. We're following Volo to check out our new home.
That's Trollskull Manor. That's a very interesting place, really. Volo will tell you all about it, of course, but some history in that part of town, actually.
This is not the kind of house I'll try to kill you, is it?
With that, he lets out kind of a boisterous laugh. He's like, there's far too many of those in Waterdeep, unfortunately, that want to kill you, but I've not heard any stories about Trollskull Manor.
Very well.
Jesus. All right. With that, Raynar and Floon go back to their drinks, and Volo once again motions for y'all to follow him, and he takes you out into the city.
Every time someone talks about it and they keep on calling it like Trollskull Manor, Trollskull Manor. I feel like if we don't call it Trollskull Manor every time we talk about it, there's like some sort of terrible curse or something. No one says the Manor or Trollskull. They don't shorten it. Everyone's like Trollskull Alley. I feel like there's a curse if we don't say it.
It's like the opposite of Voldemort.
Right. You cannot abbreviate it.
The place that shall be named the same forever.
As we're walking, I'd like to chat with Jot about the piece of paper.
Mm-hmm.
Kai, as we were kind of sitting in the he's been thinking about it, and he's trying to sort out exactly why the Zentarum would be using such a magical item and how they would have gotten their hands on it. And he kind of, as they're walking, he kind of looks to Jot and says, there has to be more to this piece of paper. We're missing something with this.
I think, from what I'm having, correct me if this is incorrect, from what I understand with how those sorts of things work, it's sort of only the person that it was intended to go to can unfold it and see the message. So I don't know of a way that we could see what was written on it at all.
You're fairly certain that this particular paper bird has not been used.
Oh, it's not been used, period. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
has
it's one
not
time
been
use, right?
Oh,
Isn't it
okay.
after it gets delivered? It's like,
Mhm.
I understand.
this message will self-destruct in 10 seconds.
That's kind of
Gotcha.
where his confusion is, because this piece of paper is there unused. Who is it going to?
The desk that you found it in, was it also... I guess I just asked the character. Was it also... The desks I looked at and such were all just covered in dust and unused for ages. Was the desk you looked at also like that?
Was it Havoc? I don't think you did. It was. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Been there for
Kind of
ages.
nod and say yes. It was all pretty much the same.
Then who knows how long it's been there. It's possible someone before the Zits had it and left it in a desk, and they just never... It didn't seem like they were using that portion of the warehouse at all. So was there dust on the bird itself, or would that fall under the no creases part of it too?
Yeah, no, there was dust coating it when you
Okay.
originally picked it up.
Okay.
I said you're very certain that it was sitting there for a while.
Kind of, as we're walking, kind of scratches his head, and Kai says, I almost want to use it. Like, write in it and tell them to, meet us somewhere. Obviously, somewhere that wouldn't garner too much attention. Perhaps at the docks or something of that nature, but not knowing who this is going to, and knowing that it's possibly an emergency thing, that seems like something that would be worthwhile of knowing, don't you think?
So wait, are you assuming that it's already been... Because I think the way that it works is you tell the bird where you want it to go, right? It's like a messenger pigeon?
No, isn't it assigned to somebody?
No.
No.
Basically, whenever you write something down into it, and as you do so, you say Kai.
Go to
and as
this
you say
person.
that, it
Gotcha.
turns into a bird, flies off to Kai.
Gotcha. Okay.
So...
I
so
misunderstood
there's a
that.
way that yeah, I wasn't properly understanding how it worked.
Yeah, I was assuming that it was associated to somebody, and basically you would write a message in it, and as soon as you finished the message, it would, and folded it up, it would take off, and it knew exactly where to go.
Yeah, it's a magical pigeon. It's not the burner phone that you were trying to find. For
Yeah.
the-
That's basically what I was considering it.
It's not that.
I think it's more kind of almost like that that bit of magic you do where you whisper in someone's head, except rather than telepathically it's written out, but it goes where you send it.
That makes sense, I suppose.
So
Still,
I agree that it's odd, but I feel like it's probably just been there, and the Zents never looked up there or didn't care, and we were just the first people to really wrestle through all those desks, which is odd in and of itself. But I don't know. The whole thing is just odd. I don't know what to make of it.
Agreed.
But it's a fun little thing, isn't it?
It's very interesting. Alright,
How do you make such a thing?
Okay. So as y'all are discussing everything, you start making your way to the north, heading up out of the kind of the border here between the trade ward and the dock ward, heading back towards the castle ward proper. You find yourselves going along the high road, and as you're going on, Volothamp begins kind of telling a little bit of history of Waterdeep. He kind of motions to you all, says, "I've heard you a few times mentioning the troll name that's associated with this, and you may not know. I don't assume anyone was born here and knows some of the rich history of the city of Waterdeep, but I do, of course. But it's actually named after the Troll Wars. You see, Waterdeep has fought against 2 large wars against trolls in very distant memory, of course. We haven't had a troll war in centuries, but that whole district is kind of named after that. And maybe you've noticed if you've been up to the Field Ward to the north, past the North Ward itself and the Sea Ward as well, there's actually 2 walls there. You see one on the inner side and one on the outside where the North Gate lies. The inner wall is actually called the Troll Wall, and Troll Kill Street actually runs all the way down it. That was the original wall of Waterdeep that held back the trolls during the Troll Wars. But unfortunately, as any combatants do, the city was breached, and we had to fight amongst the street and such, and what exactly happened is a bit foggy as far as written history, but a good friend of mine, Elminster, surely you've heard of him, a great wizard and such, has told me a little bit of stories that he's been able to glean from it, that Trollskull Alley is actually where a mass pushback, basically a last stand was made by some inhabitants of Waterdeep, and they pushed back the trolls there and pushed them all the way back to the troll wall itself and repelled the second attack in the troll war. And that's where it got its name. Trollskull Manor is actually not named, or the Trollskull Alley, rather, is not named after the manor itself, but rather the manor is named after the area it's in, off of Trollskull Alley.
Very interesting.
Is there a manor per district? Like, is that a common thing? Like, Trollskull Alley, is there also like a Candle Street Manor and stuff like that? Is that a common practice in Waterdeep?
With that, Volo shakes his head. It's like not very common practice. It's more so, named after great events, things of that nature. Things like Trollkill Street that runs along the wall. That's where many upon many where trolls were killed as they tried to assault the wall. Trollskull Alley is named after that because that is a place where many skulls of trolls ended up being in that final stand of the Waterhavians, rather. Pushed them back there. There are others here and there, some named after things like the large magical constructs that are throughout the city, the things that started moving during the Second Sundering, unfortunately. Caused a lot of havoc back then, but
Again,
they were eventually subdued through some means. I'm not actually sure what happened, but you see, I wasn't here during the Second Sundering. I was trapped in hell. It's a very unfortunate situation. But
I'd love to ask you more about that sometime. Very interesting. Viz is actively writing all this down.
As you say that, he's like, I actually wrote a book about it. I'll refer you to it. I'll get you a copy for sure.
Thank you.
But with that, he tells you a little bit more. Basically, there's different places. He explains that the North Ward itself is a very... if there's a fancy part of Waterdeep, that's the North Ward. That is where the nobles live. They have their apartments there and such. Not a lot of... There's businesses here and there, but it's not anything like the Trade Ward or even the Castle Ward with its large market and such within it. This is mostly just a residential area. And the shops there are usually for very common practices. So you'll have your weapon makers and stuff like that, but then you'll have furniture makers and things of that nature. He actually mentions there's a few businesses... excuse me. A few businesses located very close to the manor. Ones that would definitely help you if you decided to settle down there. Excuse me. Hiccups. The businesses around you will be ones you want to get acquainted with once you made your way up there. But with that, you continue on. Like it's a little bit of a walk from the Yawning Portal. You make your way through the entirety of the castle ward, just going along the high road, which you all know the high road goes almost the entirety, either it be the coastway or whatever it happens to be called, but it's one singular road that runs from almost the southern tip of the Sword Coast all the way up to the north of it, past Neverwinter and such. It still does, yeah.
Do I have time to ask Volo about the house?
Sure.
Like,
what do you want to ask him?
Who owned this house before you? Like, what important things in history have happened here? Is it built on top of a Native American burial ground? You know, stuff.
The fuck's a Native American?
Volo has no idea what you're talking about.
Native Faerunian.
But as you're asking him about that, he says there was it used to be a tavern, you see, and from everything I've been able to understand, history for specific buildings isn't always well recorded, fortunately. But I did learn that there was a man named Lif, I think, that owned this beforehand, and unfortunately he passed away. And Trollskull Manor itself went into disrepair. He had no heirs, and it changed hands a few times, but no one wanted to start the tavern back up or change its purpose into something else. So it passed hands mostly for the value of the property, and unfortunately it's in a bit of disrepair at this point. I will say and be upright with you that it is not furnished at the moment, aside from cobwebs. It's very old property, but it's still very sturdy. It's a very large piece of property as well. One that could be furnished and fashioned into whatever you want to. It still has some of the accoutrements for running a tavern within it as well.
Oh, no.
And how long have you been in possession of it?
With that, he says, less than a 10-day, honestly. I just purchased it. It was just a place to have within the city of Waterdeep. I do not own any property here, actually.
So, I mean, I don't want to sound ungrateful or anything, but like you said, having property is important. And you, like you mentioned, we're a little low on funds, and I don't want to take your home from you or anything. Why don't you, is it big enough for you to stay with us? Like, you can have a room with us, and that way you can still feel like you're a part of the property. Because I don't want to put you out of like a place to have a roof over your head.
As you say that, he kind of laughs. He says, my friends, I have a lot of friends here in Waterdeep. Durnan being, just one of them. I have no shortage of places to stay if need be. Raynar's house, Floon's as well. I mean, any of these people that you've met, plus many more that I've known throughout my adventures that I've had throughout the many years I've been alive. I've met a lot of people. Once again, this was a place to, for me to have to myself to sit down and write my book, but I could do that anywhere. I don't even have to do that in Waterdeep. So,
are you? That's a really steep commitment to make for only owning the place for 10 days. You're just so easily to part with it. That seems so strange to me. Like, are you sure you don't want to get more out of your investment? I mean, surely whatever you paid for a home is more than the money you were going to pay us for that, for helping rescue Floon. I feel like maybe you haven't thought this decision through all the way, and maybe you want to really kind of maybe meet with an accountant and talk about finances, and because I feel like buying a home in cash and just straight gold and then walking away from it 10 days later is not a great investment. Not to be disrespectful.
Make a persuasion check.
We
don't want him to actually persuade him to not give us his house.
Sorry, it was just a minute's feel.
Oh no!
So as you're saying that,
it's fucking rule this whole campaign is him talking about it giving us a fucking house.
Yeah, come on, be a bro, man. Hey, remember that time I didn't let you give me a mansion? Okay, now I need a ship.
So as you're, telling him all these things and everything, he nods along. He says, "You know what? Once again, I'll let you a little bit more information. I suppose I wasn't going to tell you because I didn't want to frighten you
again.
But But there was
Motherfucking
actually-
liar! We
No, it's
talked
just-
about. I'm
As
so
you're saying that,
hurt.
he waves his hands. He's like, no. Once again, it's inconsequential information that you didn't need to know. Once again, I just didn't want to frighten you. You see,
It's gonna go like this to Kai.
I purchased this property originally because it was something to help me with my new book that I'm writing. As I told you before, I'm in the process of constructing a book about spirits, not the ill kind. Unfortunately, I'm an expert on those, but nobody would read that. But no, spirits as in specters, the undead, the immaterial. There were rumors that I was able to pick in my investigations that Trollskull Manor was haunted by one of these creatures. But as I
Definitely
investigated,
inconsequential.
well, he listens to what you say. He says, "Well, that's the problem, and why I'm not particularly fond of holding on to the property, and I'm okay to let it go. You see, I spent a few days within the manor, and throughout the entire time I was there, nothing happened. No spooks or specters came to visit me or wanted me to leave or anything. I even broke a chair or two just to see if I could upset them, but nothing happened. I failed. Unfortunately, I believe that those rumors were untrue."
That makes a lot of sense. So it was furnished, but then you broke it.
There, he laughs. He says, "No, there are a few broken items there. I only broke one of them, and it was already not worth using."
So you have no reason to believe it's haunted, though.
With that, he shakes his head. He says, "No, I honestly, and I know it's very odd to say, but I'd hoped that it was. Once again, if I could interact with these creatures in one way or another, be in combat or just investigating it, I would be able to, decipher and learn things about it. But unfortunately, nothing seems to be there."
Well, thank you for telling us about that. Something felt a little strange. I'm glad you're being totally honest. It's okay. It's okay to be looking for inspiration for your book. I mean, if there's ever anything I can do to help you with that, I've died once, I think, so I can maybe help with that or something. It's just yesterday.
With that, he laughs. He says, "Yes, Reynard told me what happened there. Didn't quite die, but if you ever do turn into a specter, I do hope you would think of me. Maybe not to haunt, but at least glean some information about it."
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a great idea. If I ever just totally die, just keel over, rock falls, piano, whatever. If anything just happens to murder me, I'll come find you and whatever kind of research I can help you with. Totally.
That he thanks you, and you continue on to the north. At this point, you're passing through the north ward. Once again, as you're passing through the streets here, it's much quieter as you're making your way through it. Not a lot of people here, and most of them moving back and forth. You see a lot of people that are probably doing jobs as far as like mail delivery, things of that nature. You see people, bread givers, ones that take fresh bread to houses and such. You see a few, obviously, clad in noble apparel, colors of noble apparel, rather, not really the finery of nobles. Probably servants and such going about their days, getting stuff for their manors and all that fun stuff. All of the house is very well maintained and such. No rundown places like down in the dock ward here. But with that, you make your way off of the high road, down Delzorin streets until you get to Windborne Way. With that, you take a north and then east onto Serdune Street. And as you do so, you find yourself heading right towards Trollskull Alley. I'm not sure what this looks like for y'all, to be honest. Okay, cool. It did remove all this dynamic stuff. This map had dynamic lighting for some stupid reason, and I hated it.
That's
So
silly.
Okay, so Trollskull Alley is just this little 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little houses.
basically, you're coming in on Serdune Street. You have the north entrance into Trollskull Alley, down here, and that's along Thunderstaff Way, which does continue off to the north. Over here, this has no name and such. It's just a continuation of Trollskull Alley. But then you have a southern entrance going down to the place that I forgot the name of already. Delzorin Street.
So which one of these bad boys is the manor?
So as you're walking down Serdune Street, You get to actually let me get you all a group token so you can see where you are. Where you at?
Giant token.
Dude, probably gonna be huge. It's huge.
I heard that's what she said.
I can't get my mind out of the gutter tonight.
Hey, it's tiny. There we go. All right. So as you make your way forward, you see before you. As you move forward, you see a bit of a rundown place that you're seeing here. Not nearly as nice as the other places. You see some of the wood paneling and everything. The paint is all chipped on it and such. Along this place, you do see that this place is 4 stories tall and boasting balconies, a turret, and 5 chimneys. You do see that this abandoned building is one of the grandest, if not the most well kept, here in Trollskull Alley. As you're looking around it, like I said, you see the turret going up. You see many windows and such. A few of them are broken, unfortunately. You see some of the shutters kind of hanging off and such. But as you all approach, looking into it, you see Volo leading you just onto Thunderstaff Way here as he motions towards this very large mansion and says, here we are. It told you. It's very magnificent, yes?
Probably once was.
We can work.
I have a
That
handout.
is certainly something.
I'll be honest, I've slept in worse.
This is true.
They have a
Does it have a working bathtub?
The important.
with that, Volo shakes his
Do we
head.
have to
Unfortunately,
get utilities switched over?
Oh yeah, yeah. Are they in your name already, or?
with that, he smiles and says, I imagine you've heard a little bit about how these things go, but you see, I had no intention of renovating the place when I purchased it. It was more so, once again, for my investigations into the supernatural. So I did not go through any of the processes to get with the different various guilds that would be needed to assist with renovating it. You see, there are different entities all throughout there, all these different guilds within the city of Waterdeep that can assist you with. That's it. Does cost coin, unfortunately, but the first start to any big project such as this is having the place to start. And I hope that you would accept this as my my reward to you. And with that, he holds up a silver key. He says, if you would like to go in, I'll give you a walkthrough tour of the place.
Yeah, absolutely. I just do have a question. Are there like city ordinances that are like, your home looks terrible, you're in the nice district of town, you have 30 days to fix this, or we're going to start finding you? Is there like a North Ward HOA, basically?
Are we joining an HOA?
What are their HOA fees? Can we afford to live here?
As you ask that, he shakes his head. He says, no, my friends, it's... Once again, this place is very historic, and it's... You know, I describe it as looking bad. It doesn't look that bad. It needs some work. It needs some TLC, for sure. I'm not going to undercut that at all. You need to fix this place up if you want to use it in any capacity aside from a roof over your head. But Volo says, you know, there's no HOA, as you called it. I'm not sure what that is. But there is
Homeowners
nothing
Association.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, this is, very... it's a very rich...
Oh no! All of our
Oopsie
cameras
day.
are broken. Oh, okay.
No, he's back. Okay. Well, this is a very the nicer part of Waterdeep. There are no restrictions and such on what a property can look like. As you venture around, I'm sure you'll see some very odd-looking places that may not be to your tastes, but it's very much the philosophy of the people that live here in Waterdeep to not judge others on outward appearances and such.
Well, thank you for being honest with us. I just want to make sure we aren't getting into something that's going to cost us money immediately.
I mean, there is some form of haunting going on here. It's probably going to cost us maybe a little more than money.
He said it wasn't haunted. He
No.
tried to find spirits in it.
He just was unsuccessful.
Maybe you don't look hard enough.
I've never met a ghost before. If we meet a ghost, though, we have to go get Volo.
I don't like him. I don't think so.
Step
He's
one.
giving us a home. right, let's go inside.
You gotta
This is
call.
our home.
No way. This is the map I used to test my tokens from earlier. I'm like, what are these fucking dwarves doing on the map? Alright. So
Thank
as you
God.
Wait,
move
what
in-
are
Now we know-
dwarves doing in our mansion?
Now,
Right.
now we know dwarves are off the table for the next ambush attack. Something
Yeah.
other than dwarves.
Alright, so I'm gonna move y'all in. I don't think I gave this thing sight. Let's just give you 120 feet
Perfect.
to 100 feet. Has sight. Alright, all players see light. Alright, so as you make your way in, and this will be a little bit convoluted for this, but I will give you a handout for the entirety of the schematics of this place. So as you make your way in, as you move in, you see that the what you walk into initially is definitely what used to be the tavern's tap room to this place. You do see, unfortunately, it is filled, much as Volo said, with broken furniture. You see some tarnished silverware, casks of wine that, as you look at, have definitely long since turned to vinegar, and a bunch of worthless, detritus. As you look around the rest of the rooms around here, seeing a room for a pantry, as well as what looks like it could be a kitchen down toward the south. You see that everything seems to be empty otherwise. Just a lot of broken stuff here in the tap room, but nothing really else. As you make your way,
Do we see the chairs he broke?
you see a lot of broken chairs. You're not sure if he broke this one or that one, or maybe that one over there. You're not sure. But with that, Volo kind of shows you around this room and everything, showing you where the tap room. You do see one singular bar stool still is standing, upright up next to the bar. You see broken, like I said, tables and chairs and such all around you, and with that, he leads you up to the second floor. But he motions that you have to go outside, actually, to get up to the second floor. This place is isolated. So you go around the back side of the building. As you do so, you see stairs leading up to the second floor here, kind of a separate awning for what he says are the living areas for the second floor. Oh, is it not restricting you? No, that's fine. I don't really care. So yeah, stop
I'm
moving.
allowed to see our whole house.
I should have a handout too. Let me find it. Trollskull Manor handout. Show to players. So as you make your way up to the second room, you see this large kind of common room sitting before you, and as you look around, you're able to see a den up to the north, this kind of long hallway that leads off to a couple of bedrooms, as well as some stairs leading up to the third floor. You make your way up to the third floor and find that there's more rooms and such. You see a couple bedrooms, one larger bedroom, obviously the master, set for that. You see a large private bathing area here that, unfortunately, mostly just cobwebs and such here. Another one up to the north. You see a large room that has a few bookshelves. Some of the shelves, unfortunately, are kind of tarted over to the side, falling apart without being maintained. No books and such on them, but you are able to see that this was definitely a study at some point. As you go up to the attic of the place, the building kind of creaking around you as you make your way up to the top. You see there is a small bedroom here, or a room that can be converted into anything else, as there's obviously no bed here. You see it leads off to the turret of this place, this large spiraling turret that goes up to the top, where you have to go up through a ladder at the top of the stairs and actually go through a trapdoor at the top, and you're able to see out the one singular window there. Also in the attic was a storage room as well. And with that, he leads you all the way back downstairs to where he shows you back behind the bar in the tap room was actually a trapdoor in the floor covered in dust and a couple of broken furniture pieces. And with that, he opens it up, and you see a moderately sized cellar. As you make your way down into it, you can tell that it's naturally cooler down here amongst the earth. Probably why it was used so much to be a cellar and then a wine cellar as well, keeping that natural temperature already for it to store those kinds of goods. But as the
Probably.
tour around Trollskull Manor ends, they'll lead you back into the tap room and turns around to you all and everything, holding out the key once again. He says, well, does it meet up to your standards? Is this a worthy repayment for the deed that you or the deed you completed the night prior?
Can I look over the contract he had? Just, make sure no absurd clauses, any
Oh.
We're not stealing our souls.
legalese in there.
Yeah, so you're looking
Magical
at the
hidden claws.
Havoc likes doing that, so it's a good idea.
Holy crap, things running so slow.
I mean, saying to the group, hopefully with all can hear, be like, this is seriously way more than rescuing one person. We seriously undervalued ourselves when we just accepted 10 gold or whatever, or he's crazy generous.
We'll just raise our prices in the future.
Talia expects this.
Like I said, you're all getting the very clear indication that Volo doesn't have a very straightforward outlook on money. The only reason, this place wasn't cheap. Several thousand gold was spent to purchase this place. And that's the only reason he didn't have money to pay you. And he even told you that. He said, oh, my money was tied up, unfortunately, and he was waiting on royalties for his latest book. But he throws money around like this around without much issue. So him giving this to you because it doesn't serve his purpose, he's like, I don't need it anymore. I can't pay you gold, so here's a place you can do whatever. Try to sell it again if you want to just make straight gold. But as Jod asked him about the contract, he says, yes, I wrote it up last night before I went to sleep, and he holds out this parchment, and a few places are blank, obviously for filling out dates and such like that. But as you're looking it over, it seems pretty straightforward. You see, it reads, I'll read this one time. It's a lot here. He says, whereas... It's fine. He says, whereas the indenture made and concluded this, and there's a space for a day and month and such here, and the year as well, between Volothamp Gerdam, hereinafter referred to as the assigner, and then there's a space for all of your names down below that. Hereinafter referred to as the assignees. The assigner cedes... That's where I can see it a little bit easier. The assigner cedes to the assignees the right of ownership and to the domicile known as Trollskull Manor and Tavern. Said domicile located at the intersection of Serdun Street, Thunderstaff Way, and Trollskull Alley in the north ward of the city of Waterdeep. Whereas the assignees are granted the right to use the said domicile as a residence and/or business within the provisions of the Code Legal. Whereas, upon signing this document, the assignees are responsible for all taxes and guild fees in regard to domicile. Signed and sealed under the ever-watchful Eye of Tyr, and with that, he mentions the name here as it reads, in the presence of Vitrier Mayor, representing the city and the authority of Laerel Silverhand, the Open Lord of Waterdeep. And then it has signature down the bottom where Volo has already signed his name as the assigner, and then there's a space for your bottom as assignees. With that, he mentions the Vittorio Mayor. Says that's a magistrate friend of mine that I know that I would probably be seeing today. Of course, if you still would like to accept this as your reward. He is already ready for us to oversee the signing and such and make it all legal and such for the city.
All seems above board.
Are there any liens on the property?
I don't know what that is.
So like when people do construction and stuff, they put like a lien on the property, which is like, you haven't paid me yet, so I'm subcontracting out to do this. Basically, sometimes when you buy a house, you need to make sure it doesn't have a lien on it because you have to pay those people that the previous property owners owed money.
With that, he shakes his head. He says, no, it's paid in full. Once again, there are costs that may be accrued depending on what you want to do with the place. If you would like to fix it up, get everything running, get the plumbing back in working condition, unfortunately, it is a disrepair. Set it up for business if you would like to reopen the tavern, which I would love to see that, but of course don't let me guide your hand or anything, your actions. But all of those things have to be done. And with that, he kind of tilts his head to the side. They don't have to be done. It's much easier, though, if you go through the guilds for this kind of work. It does cost coin. You do have to work with other people, but doing it yourself and not including the guilds within your business is generally not a good practice here in Waterdeep.
Very well.
I feel very well.
I sign first.
Okay. What persona are you right now?
Just Viz the changeling with bright red hair.
How does Viz sign his name? Is it very fluid script? Is it a scribble Viz? Is
Oh, yeah, it's
it
beautiful.
beautiful? Elegant as fuck.
Giant V, pretty small I and Z. Very
Okay.
fancy.
Very fancy. Okay.
Yeah, we should just hang out here. and not do
So as
anything
you
else.
get ready to sign it, Viz, Volo kind of stops you. He says, well, before you sign, I've already done so because I am the signer, but the assignees need to be witnessed by the magistrate to make it all forthcoming and such. Say I didn't scribble your names down on there and such if anybody wasn't present for it. So if you are accepting of this as your reward, then we will make it down over to the magistrate's office, just up the street, a few buildings down, rather. And we'll make it all official.
Sounds good.
Good for me.
Yep. All right.
Let's do it.
All right. So with that, you start making your way out of the manor itself. You kind of glance back at it, and like I said, after walking through it, you're impressed a bit by how spacious it is. This place, once again, was not cheap. It is far more worth than what you were originally promised as far as monetary gains. Get while I finish the contract. So I handout. So you make your way up a few streets, and as you
Definitely
do so, you find yourself at this magistrate's office. It's very formal looking, just kind of a large rectangle is for the front. Has magistrate written on a sign above it. You do see a line of a few people there, so you have to wait a few minutes before you're able to make your way up to it. As you're all looking over the deed once again, just kind of double checking it, make sure everything once again is in the up and up. You do see that it already has been notarized with Volothamp's signature on it, and it's essentially just waiting for your own to be added to the list. Havoc is filling for time while he does this. Yeah. Right.
I claim the bedroom on the 3rd floor that is connected to the private bath. Just to let you guys know.
I thought we were going to use those rooms for the brothel.
For the what?
The brothel.
Well, I picked the smallest one with the bath. I need my bath. You wouldn't understand.
Believe me, before I moved here, I lived with all women. Yes, I understand.
Did he just make a generalized woman statement? Oh my god. Guy, even I know you're not supposed to do that.
Really quick at getting ready, but I need my bath.
Come on.
You see, I need to get all wet in order to function, so I need that private bath.
I was wondering when it was going to happen. There it is.
I don't get it.
I don't believe you.
You usually never get it. It's okay.
This is really naive. I mean, give him a break.
Sexy Viz will get it when he decides to come out again.
He'll find a way to mess it up, don't worry.
Hey,
He's
no,
right.
No faith.
Oh, wait. Dang it.
Wait, no.
What was that? Yeah, leave. He's... chugging my system. Load it. Try to
We
do
can
something
take
nice
a
for your
5-minute
players.
break if you need a
I can't
5-minute
hear
break.
you, Shu.
Oh, hey, yeah, it is 10 o'clock. Sweet. All right, yeah. So while we're finishing this up, you're waiting in line right now to go up to see the magistrate, have this
We'll
deed
take a 5-minute
signed,
break.
this transference of ownership signed by the magistrate, and then you will own your own property. But before we see that happen, let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break.
Okay.
Havoc tries to figure out what the hell
Yeah.
Roll20 is
All right,
doing.
so we're going to take a 5-minute break. When we get back, we will continue. So stick around. Don't go
Yeah, I
anywhere.
need alcohol.
It was real.
Oh, sorry.
And then the
forgot
purple
to
guy.
unmute here.
The purple guy, yeah.
Got it.
So the one with the burning hands, I noticed that he had a book. It was a he, right? He wasn't a woman, half orc,
His
right?
name was like a very guttural sound.
He. Okay,
He
cool.
was very masculine. Yes.
Okay, cool. I couldn't remember for some reason. He had a book, and I just like, I don't know. I just snagged. I've never stolen something before.
When did the? Was this
Um,
before or after I died?
You didn't die. You were just
Was it-
like you were unconscious temporarily.
Okay, did you take the book like before or after I became unconscious?
Probably, yeah. It was after, because we were all kind of like panicking.
I was unconscious and you stole a book instead of helping me?
No, I helped you first, and then on the way out, I stole a book.
Bonnie helped me.
Well, we made it so you didn't die before Bonnie made you come back awake.
Okay, so what's in the book?
I'll show you. Look. So it's got like spells in it.
It's got like
And don't
spells
mind
in
a
it.
little bit of bloodstains.
Do I recognize the spells? Or do I recognize them as spells?
Yeah.
So like
Is there
this
something
one.
else to that? There was an upend on that. Is there a continuation of that sentence, Havoc?
You recognize there are spells in this book. Yes.
Okay, cool.
So like this is the one that the orc was using. You do these like hand motions, and then it turns your hand like fire kind of shoots out of your hands.
Hand motions.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
yeah,
Fire hands?
fire
What
hand.
else?
It seems inconvenient for like normal daily life though.
Yeah, but what if you wanted to cook and you just made fire hands and then you
Oh
grabbed like
my
the cast iron and then you just heat the whole thing? That's amazing.
You're a genius.
I know.
All right. So as this discussion is happening,
Wait,
you
can I show you mine?
Yeah.
Okay, give me 10 minutes.
Oh,
I'm gonna ritual cast something while we're waiting in line.
Okay. Yes.
Well, about 5 minutes passes as Viz is concentrating very hard to cast a spell, kind of muttering under his breath and such. You make your way up and you find yourselves standing before the magistrate. As you move forward, you see this magistrate standing before you, this half-elf gentleman up here. And as you're looking at him, he seems very bored. And as you move forward, he sees Volothamp and looks over at him, looks back at you, and says, "Yes, what can I help you with?" And with that, Vola says, "We would like to sign over a piece of property over. We need your permission to do so. You need to witness the event." And with that, the magistrate nods, says, "Very well. Where is the parchment for it?" And with that, Vola pulls out the transfer of ownership, out the deed, essentially, for it, and lays it down on the table. He kind of motions for you all to move forward. He says, "One at a time, just go ahead and sign your names here. Sign once at the top and once at the bottom, and then everything will be said and done." Once again, the magistrate kind of echoes his words, saying the same thing for the most part. And in turn, you all start making your way forward. Kai goes up and in this kind of flowing script signs his name. Right, flowing script for your background makes sense, right?
Yep.
Okay. You were the only one I didn't ask, because I was like, yeah, it's going to be fancy writing. 'Cause,
It absolutely is.
All right. Next up is Jot, who signs her full name onto her piece, or her line of the parchment, going out as, kind of hastily scribbling across it. Still legible, still somewhat, fancy in its script, but definitely kind of haphazard a bit. As Riss sets forward,
When she's writing it, is she like running out of room so the letters keep getting smaller and smaller as she gets towards the end?
it barely fits on her line. Like yours is all centered and very flowing, and nice, and has almost equidistant space on either side. Jot took up the entire line. As Riss moves forward, you see he, instead of kind of flowing like your scripts does in this kind of cursive in the common script, you see him doing kind of lines and symbols, and not everybody really recognizes what he does, but he leaves his mark on the paper and then steps back. Viz steps forward next, and as he does so, once again with this very swirling script, very large V and then an IZ next to it, writes his name on it. Talia,
500. That's 10 minutes.
He just got done with his rituals.
all right.
Did I make it before I had to sign?
He's been over there muttering to himself.
I counted to 500 to 300.
You're special.
I mean, you said I was over there concentrating really hard, Kat. So I just said 5 more minutes. Did I finish it before I had to go sign my name?
Sure. What
Sick.
did you do?
I cast Unseen Servant, and I'm gonna have someone come over and like poke Jot. I'm gonna tell my Unseen Servant to come and poke Jot in the back.
Okay.
Jot, meet Henry. He's my Unseen Servant. You can't see him.
I'm like gonna reach my hand out.
He's there.
I
He
can,
exists.
I can touch him.
Watch this, Henry. Go deliver this to Kai. And I'm gonna take some take a quill out of my pouch and hold it out, and the Unseen Servant will go and grab it and walk it over to Kai.
So is this what'd you grab?
A quill.
A quill. So as this quill's floating across the room over towards Kai, you all hear it. If you don't mind, I have many things to take care of. Next one to sign, please, as he motions towards you, Viz.
Okay, yeah, no, sorry, no problem. Do my flourishy signature.
All right.
Thank you.
And last but not least, kind of separating her signature off to the side, Talia signs her name across the paper in this kind of flowing script with a bit of a flourish at the end of it. And you find yourselves signing it there in the middle, and then once again signing down at kind of the bottom right edge of this paper. Wait, show it again? Let me see how
Yeah,
close
show
that
that
is.
again. Talia of
Rapture.
Rapture.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Okay, it's pretty close. So as you all sign it, the deed, the magistrate nods, and with that, you all see your names across the script, across this deed that you have for Trollskull Manor.
Do I?
Risk. What language is this?
Yeah, that's what I was totally about to ask Risk.
Risk, where'd you come up with the signature? That's beautiful.
That is draconic.
That's amazing.
Dude.
What does it say?
Risk.
You actually sign your name?
Risk Vistale, by the way.
Oh, full name. Got it.
It has your full name on there. Painstakingly hand drawn by the DM to put it on the paper.
That's so cool.
It's actually really cool. Yeah.
It
Polo
literally
signature is
took
really lame.
it literally took Jot the entire line to fill.
Yes. They wouldn't let me put my full name on any documents when I got into the city. I had to leave off the last 6 of my last names.
Someone asked me if my name was like Cher, but I didn't understand what that meant.
I've never heard of Cher.
He said it's a one name thing. I didn't get it. They
that
also told me to
mean,
never
like, is
trust
it
someone
like-
with 2 first names.
Is that like spelled like SHARE? Like you're sharing a drink with someone?
I don't know. This is weird. It's a really weird analogy.
There you go, chat.
So with that, once again, the magistrate
Let's see
clears
the
his throat and
signed
says,
deed.
if we're finished here, our business is concluded. The deed has been signed. I have witnessed it. Now, please be on your way.
What was his name? Did we know his name?
Vittorio
I want to know
Mayer.
his name. What was it?
You can see it down the bottom right of the paper.
Oh, there we go. Yes, Victoria. Okay, perfect. Cool.
So yeah, once again, you see a little bit of extra detail has been added into it. You know that today is you're well into spring at this point, as far as seasons go here in Waterdeep. You're on the 3rd day of the month, known as Tarsak. There's y'all's little Harptos calendar.
I was actually going to ask you what time of year it was.
Yeah. You know the year is 1493, also known as the Year of the Purple Dragons. But 1493 DR, named after the day of reckoning. But now with that, it's handed off. Olothamp holds the deed up and holds it out for anyone to take. Says, "Here you go." And with that, he holds up in his other hand the silver key that opened up the front door. Says, "With that, as you're now standing out in the street here in front of the magistrate's office, the business is concluded. Trollskull Manor is yours."
I'll take the deed. And I mean, I guess if I'm taking one, I'll take the other. I'll take both. Does it make sense to just snatch the deed?
Thank you, Volo. It's very kind of you.
As you say that, he bows his head. He says, "No, thank you. Once again, I cannot thank you enough for saving my dear friend Floon, and I fear that ultimately his predicament was because I kept him out drinking. So what you did helped clear my conscience that he was fine, and we can continue about our lives as we were before. But, of course, yours is going to change a great deal, I think. I mean, he looks around and said, I don't know if any of you are homeowners and everything, but there's a lot of responsibility, and I think I'll be keeping in touch with you all. I would love to see what you do to the place."
Please feel free to stop by anytime.
With that, he nods. He says, "Of course, if by chance you do run into any spirits within there, maybe they just weren't a fan of me, if you do run by, please let me know. I would love to study them."
Where will you be? You still gonna be on the third door down on the first floor at the Yawning Portal?
With that, he kind of shrugs. He says, "I may stay there a bit longer. I may be out in the city. Typically, you can just ask around. Most people can spot me in a crowd, and rumor gets around when I populate places for too long."
All right. Well, if we find something interesting, we'll find you.
With that, he nods. He says, "Do enjoy your new home. Once again, if you have any questions, do seek me out. But I think we'll be seeing each other soon, sooner rather than later. I think I have a new set of adventurers here. If I ever run into any trouble, I can call upon." And with that, he takes this the floppy hat that he's been wearing ever since you met him, kind of bows down, dropping it towards the ground in a grand flourish of a bow. And with that, he puts it back on and says, "Fare thee well," and sets off into the crowd. What do y'all want to do?
Let's go back to the house, guys.
I
Or
want-
explore the area.
I want to find this ghost.
Go find the ghost.
Let's go pick out our rooms.
Oh, yes. Good call. Good call.
Could it be like, what was that show on MTV or VH1 where a group of strangers meet up and then you get the house and you pick the rooms?
Real world.
It's like, what is that show called? It's gonna be like that, picking our rooms.
Go ahead and remove all the light off this. That do it?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There you go. So, you have Trollskull Manor. It has now been passed over to you, adventurers. Once again, only to you. It is a shared property. You all own it equally, according to the deed that has been recognized by the city of Waterdeep. It is now law that you all own this. Once
Equally,
again,
Talia.
equally.
Some more inclined than others.
But with that, like I said, this property is yours. It's definitely in disrepair. Definitely needs some work. If you were to venture out and start looking around, you might be able to meet some guild people and such. And once again, I'm just kind of planning things that you can go do if you don't have any ideas. But there are guilds people out. Typically, any kind of artisan or professional in any kind of craft, so like a weaponsmith or something like that, they're part of the guild that they practice for. If they aren't somebody that they can make recommendations, they can typically tell you who to go to. You have the area around Trollskull Alley. There are several businesses and shops around the area if you would like to explore around there. And you have the entirety of Waterdeep at your disposal. So, what do you want to do?
Should we introduce ourselves to our new neighbors?
We need to pick out rooms first.
Pick out rooms first.
We need to pick a meeting spot if there's a fire. Like, we need to say, like, this is where we're all going to meet if there's a fire in the house. We need to make sure, like, everything's safe. We're not going to get, like, broken into or, like, robbed or something like that.
Viz seems like the kind of person that the first day, like, establishes the house rules and goes around and, like, posts it on every door to make sure nobody misses the house rules.
Right.
He
Yeah.
laminates it too.
Yeah.
I want to, for some of the, like, maybe like a broken stool or two, go ahead and pick up a couple pieces and fix it using mending.
Okay.
And try and get us at least enough chairs to where we could all sit.
Yeah, you're able to go through, and like I said, as you're going through, you see that there's still a lot of furniture in the tap room. As you explored the rest of the house, you saw that it's been cleared out. Anything that may have been in there at one point has either been looted by trespassers or sold in auctions or given away or what have you. There's nothing but cobwebs, essentially, in any other parts of the house. But you can almost get a seemingly, with about an hour's work or so, almost a decent-looking tap room as far as furniture is concerned inside the bottom floor of this place.
I don't want to spend like an hour doing it, just enough to like clean up and have enough chairs and maybe like one table for us to be, if we wanted to sit around in the area.
I want to check out the taps in the kitchen and just trying to figure out, like, is this a complete overhaul? Like, do we need new stoves, new hoods? Do we need, all this stuff? And how do the taps look? So, like, if we go and find a brewer and they can come and, fix our taps, how much repairs do they have to do, right? Can we tell them, like, it's a complete redo, or it's like, it's mostly good?
Give me a How much do you know about taps?
With tinkering knowledge, could I assist him? Or
I'm sure you can assist me anyway.
Give me just a straight intelligence check. With assistance from Jot, so with advantage. Nice. All right.
I'm a closet alcoholic.
So as you're looking at the taps, you see that there are 4 taps here in the kitchen, or the backside of the... you checking the ones out by the bar, or are you checking the keg side?
I didn't realize... Yeah, just the actual part where it's going to pour out the beer.
Okay. So there's 4 taps out here at the back, kind of where the bar and everything is over here. As you're looking at them, you see that they're all made of iron. You actually don't see any rust, really, and you kind of run your finger on the inside of it, seeing that there's nothing but smooth metal on the inside. It seems to be well preserved, for the most part. Like, no extra water has been flowed through here. When the taps were unused and everything, they were dried out and such. Seems like they wouldn't be hard to repair here.
Guys, we have a bar.
Except they're kind of loud. I don't know. Like, it's cool, but do you want to, like, live in a noisy area all the time?
I mean, we can be a gentleman's bar. We can be a classy bar. We can have a harpist and cigars and, fluted beer cups. Very fancy. Upper class. I mean, we're in the North Ward.
True.
We're not going to have a club, right?
It would be probably way quieter and more chill than like the Yawning Portal would be.
You can just do what I do, and when it gets too loud, I just put my head underwater.
Okay.
I'll try
It
that.
silences everything out.
Can you breathe underwater?
Can't you?
No.
Hmm.
That's really cool. Have you always been able to do that, or did you learn how to do that?
I thought it was a common thing.
No. No.
Weird.
Hold on. We'll head upstairs. Let's pick out rooms.
You do have the text tool in Roll20.
Oh.
If y'all would like to write on your rooms, claim them and such. This map is yours. This is not my map. This is yours. Kinda, sorta. I'll be you. But not worrying about
You'll
that.
share.
Kai, as you're looking around the study, once again, everything, you do see bookshelves line the walls all the way around this room, except for over to the east where the windows are, pointing out towards the, looking over the buildings to your east. But every other wall has bookshelves across it. Once again, they're all kind of misshapen, misused and such. The shelves are leaning down, kind of cattywampus and everything. Dust covers everything, the floor, the bookshelves, the windows. But, definitely could be a study of something.
I'm actually thinking of going in here and like looking around to see, is there a way this room that is dedicated to books and studies and things like that can be converted into a bedroom for Viz?
It could. I mean, what's written on these? Because they do have written things, right? Okay.
Yeah, on
what's written on
the
these
handout.
Yeah, on the handout and everything, you'll be able to see that. And actually, I can probably do that for you.
Which is that here?
Bloop. And da layer, token layer.
There you go.
There we go. So
Okay, so what I've marked right now is a closet, right?
that is a
Yeah.
that is a balcony.
Yeah.
It's a balcony.
It's a balcony.
Perfect.
I'm a man of the land, and I want to live outside. Thank
I just
you.
have a little doghouse.
Havoc,
Uh-huh.
you showed us something on the map.
Uh-huh.
You want to hide
Yeah.
it?
There's something next to our token.
There's something there.
That's not anything.
That's nothing. That's fine.
That's
There's
something.
nothing
Those
there.
look like nothing.
Nope, that's nothing.
whatsoever.
Nope.
That's
Totally
something
normal.
that's gonna change, so I wouldn't worry.
Oh,
too
okay.
much about it. These are all, like I said, you got to remember all these maps are from the module. I've changed so much shit.
Mhm.
It was fine. It was just like, oh look,
Oh
we're
look,
being
it's-
attacked by a ghost
oh,
right
there's a
now.
ghost.
I know
Cool.
exactly what that is. Huh.
Huh.
Yeah. So kind of looking over the library study is a way to kind of convert it, like I said, to give Viz kind of his own private area for him to write his books and as a bedroom and things of that nature as well. Be more right up his alley because, books.
Yeah, like I said, the bookshelves that are in here now obviously are attached to the walls. Could be removed if you wanted to do so.
Mm-mm.
The biggest thing I want to convey to all of you is that these all have names and uses and stuff like that written on it. Not set in stone. This, I mean, every room is empty except for some furniture here and there, like the privies have stuff set up for bathrooms and things like that. All of the plumbing and such, as you walk through and you kind of discover needs some work. No water flows to it and such. You imagine you're probably gonna have to call a plumber in, try to figure out what's going on with everything. But all of these rooms, the den, the common room, all of this other stuff can be changed to whatever the hell y'all want. Your imagination changes this place
Um,
and your money.
yeah.
For the attic bedroom, does it have like the sloping ceilings
Mhm.
of an attic? Okay. Well, I'm the smallest, so I won't hit my head up here. So I could be up here at the top.
If there's ever an emergency downstairs, how long does it take you to get all the way down all the stairs?
I mean, are there banisters to slide down?
Can we
You have-
can we
Tuck and
install
roll
fire?
down the stairs.
Oh my god!
A fire pole.
It's just like a fireman's
fire pole.
pole. Yeah.
Ghostbuster style. I told you guys already. We need to be the Ghostbusters.
I'm pretty sure we can get whatever we want installed in this house. The money would be the question, but I'm curious.
Yeah, I think if the plumbing's not working, I feel like that's probably the first thing we need to get done. So we should probably meet our neighbors, like Rick
Yeah.
suggested, and then go talk to a plumber, and then figure out what each repair is going to cost us.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give y'all a picture. I'm not gonna put it into the game, but I don't know why this isn't in the Roll20 handout. It's kind of dumb. It makes it look much more menacing than it is, but
Oh shit.
Neat.
so that's kind of what it looks like. Like I said, it's a very large house. It's obviously livable, but a lot of the windows are boarded up. It's paint's chipping, things like that. It needs some TLC. It needs some love. It needs some money thrown at it. Get everything fixed up and such. But
I wish I could link
it's
this
a it's a manor. This is a large place. So, what's the plan? Y'all gonna head out and look around
you
town?
can kind of
look
see
around
it,
the
can't you?
neighborhood?
Because I just
See
clicked
what,
on it.
see what we
Oh,
find around
look at that.
If I knew that's what it looked like, Viz absolutely would never have stepped in here.
Like I said, that picture makes it a a lot more detrimental than it is.
While we're here, I'm gonna have Henry the First just be like cleaning up around, right? Having my unseen servant go and like start like getting all the debris and piles and stuff like that, and starting to clean just while I'm within a 60-foot radius of him as we're like walking around the house and stuff.
Okay. All right. So yeah, a little cleaning is done. But as y'all go, go ahead and switch maps over here so y'all can kind of move around as you want. As you decide to explore, like I said, and I'll mark it for you. I think this is not too bad. So T1 will be Trollskull Manor.
Okay.
That is your home. As you're looking around, you see several places of business actually lay in the area. Which I will have stuff for here. There we go. So as you're walking around, not really going into places, just kind of walking up and down, stare down street, going down into Trollskull Alley, and moving through it in its entirety, you see there's several places here. Over here at T2, you see there's a shop here. And you don't see a sign depicting anything or as far as a written letter, but you do see a sign hanging over it, and all it has into it is this nail that's bent over to the side of it. And as you're looking through the windows of the shop, you see a lot of displays of like ornate wooden furniture, as well as some selection of bows and crossbows hanging up from the window as well. As you make your way around, going down, it being daylight and such, you see... That was excessively loud. Thanks, virus protection. Where you look around, you see what appears to be an indoor forge down here at T3. You see smoke and steam billow from the many windows around this indoor forge, where you can see some metal weapons, armors, and tools being made. As you kind of glance in, you can't really make out the people inside here, but you do see a little bit easier to them because they kind of stand out. You see two men of different colors. One is almost this bright red underneath his cloth that he's wearing as he hammers away at a longsword. The other one, you see another man a little bit slimmer in his build, hammering away at this piece of breastplate on into it. And as he holds his hand out, you see water actually eeping out of his hand and cooling and quenching the metal.
He was blue-colored?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
As you move on, you see a bit of a strange place as you continue down just south of Trollskull Manor. You see this several 3-story townhouse is built up, and the top story catches your eye immediately as you look up, and it appears to be just a greenhouse atop it. You see an assortment of these bright-colored flowers and plants and such growing at the top of it. As you're looking up, you see a sign that says Corlin's Crown is the name of the shop. You assume it's probably an apothecary or something of that nature. Looking down the rest of Trollskull Alley, you see a lot of these line houses, residences for nobles and such like that, but not any more businesses. So you continue up, going back up Thunderstaff Way, and then left.
Was there a name on the forge?
The forge, Steam and Steel.
Steam and Steel.
So you continue down to the west of Staredown Street, going down here to where T5 is.
To use
as you're looking at it, you're not entirely sure what this place is, but you do see a sign outside of it that is an orange and black sign featuring a cat's eye across it. You see a bell sitting on the outside of the door, but nothing else really distinguishing from it. And finally, as you continue on, you see what appears to be a bookstore. You see in front of it this charming sign of a golden dragon curled around a treasure hoard of books and scrolls. And you see the sign depicts, or reads rather, Bookworm's Treasure here at T6.
Treasure.
Bookworm's what?
Bookworm's Treasure.
And the orange place with the eye, we didn't have a name on it, right?
Yeah, you just saw, like, so this place stood out a little bit. It didn't look like a regular house. It does have a sign in front of it, but what it means exactly, you're not sure.
Is that everything? Up through T6?
Yes, T6 is the last, like, noticeable place
Okay.
here.
Are there any homes?
Yes, everything else, for all intents and purposes, are homes.
Okay. We should go meet our neighbors.
Did
you say
anyone
that
bake cookies?
one of the shops had furniture?
Yes, the
The,
bent nail.
Oh, I wrote down broken nail.
Not bent nail. It's a bent over nail.
Don't have a lot of money, but I could really use a bed.
I'm sure they will have the highest quality here.
Someone from medium quality.
So you think we should buy furniture before we get repairs done?
No, but I just don't want to be sleeping on the floor while we're fixing the place up.
That's fair. I want to go to the house right next to T1, between T1 and T2,
Okay.
and go up to the front door and look at it. Is it not boarded over? Maybe someone actively.
It is not boarded over. You see what appears to be a somewhat large house. You see that this... can't draw a square for you to see. That whole thing right there is all connected. You actually see that there's no entrances from the north side here. There's actually one down here next to T2. It's a large house.
Oh,
Oh, that's the house next to
I had
us.
to run around the block then to get to their front door.
Mhm.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go knock on the door,
Okay.
and I'm also gonna change into my human persona.
Okay. So you knock on the door, the hollow sound of it, and like I said, everything's... I mean, it's a large house. It's not ornately fancy or anything like that. It seems modest in its, appearance as you're looking at it. But you rap on the door, making this hollow sound, and nothing seems to happen for a few moments. But then you hear the lock of the door clicking over, and you see a half-elf standing before you as he opens the door. He's got kind of this black, not quite a suit, but a vest on over a white shirt and such. Very much looking like a butler or something like that. As he opens the door and looks you over, and says, "Yes, what is it I can do for you?"
Hi there. I just wanted to introduce myself. The Trollskull Manor behind this residence. We are the new owners of that property, and we wanted to introduce ourselves to our new neighbors and our new friends and the people we're going to have an excellent journey with as we become great neighbors and pals.
As you say that, you see him nodding and kind of looks over your shoulder and says, "Well, the master of this estate is gone at the moment, but I will be sure to let him know that you've moved in." What was your name again?
Fizz kind of takes the same kind of bow that he saw Risk do earlier. This really flourishy bow. He just says, "My name is Calvizen, and these are my friends." Kind of wave to everyone, and we'll be in the residence. What's your master's name?
What is your master's name?
John Doe.
Which family does he belong to?
If we're going to be naming all of the NPCs, we're talking to every single house here and getting a list of NPCs.
Then I'm not the only person taking notes.
Welcome to hell.
I need to make up like a directory to keep track of all the
Yes.
NPCs. Someone needs to help me.
All right, this is fine. I have something for this. All right.
Random
Hold up.
name generator.
Oh, wow, fuck that. I'm not randoming this. I'm tying this back in the story. Screw you guys. You got to remember these names.
Snap.
All right. So with that, the half elf before you nods his head. He says, "Master Amkarthra is the one who resides here with his family. They are all out and about inspecting the fields up to the north. That is where their business is located."
They own farmland?
They own the farmland, but mostly they run the ranches out there. They're well known for their horse breeding and training and cattle ranching, winemaking, weaponsmithing. They've got a hand in a little bit of everything.
And what was your name, sir? Are you the man in charge of the grounds? Man to oversee the property? Do you work with the family?
I am their butler. I watch the estates while they are here or out and about. My name is Gio Ayon. And he says his master name is Janum and Kothra.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome.
The second one, I had no clue what to put, and I was way off.
Oh shit, I spelled it wrong though.
Oh,
Gio.
gotcha.
Well, Gio, thank you so much for your time. It's so nice to meet you. We are going to be doing everything in our power to help get the manor looking, hopefully, as close as we can get it to yours. Your master and the staff has done an excellent job on the upkeep, and we will hope to bring ours to a level somewhat as close to yours, though I doubt we'll be able to surpass it. Thank you, Gio.
As you say that, you see Gio, who would look very professional, very straight-faced and such, very stoic. Kind of has a warm smile spread at that. He says, I'm glad somebody is finally taking over the manor here to renovate it and make it more proper in its establishment. It was such a nice place some 150 years ago, and it saddens me to see it in such disarray.
Well, if you ever want to come over and help us talk about layouts, help us figure out what's good and trendy and how to make things look good, or some suggestions, feel free to come on by if you ever want to have a drink. The taps seem to be in pretty good shape. We're going to get those fixed up eventually, and we'll have a beer, and you can talk, and you can tell us about the history of the manor.
As you say that, he bows and said, I appreciate the invitation, and by all means, if you ever do have any questions about working with any of the guilds here and around for renovation and such, I have dealt with quite a few of them in my business. Do not hesitate to ask.
Thanks, Gio.
With that, he nods and slowly shuts the door.
He seems nice.
He does seem nice.
Do we need a butler?
Maybe.
I want to make sure we fit in.
There he is.
I don't want to stick out for any reason. And if we don't have a butler, and we're that one house on the block that doesn't have a butler,
You can use your little magic trick and you can be our butler. It'll be a special job just for you.
If we put clothes on your invisible dude, do the clothes go invisible?
No, you can put clothes on them, but they only last an hour, though.
I mean,
But you can just redo it, right?
I don't know. I just learned it this morning. I don't know.
That would be the coolest butler, though. An invisible butler.
They can't
wearing
talk.
A suit. Oh.
They'd be terrible greeters.
I could
What if
possibly.
he wore gloves? We could.
Hold on. Kai has an idea.
Oh yeah.
No, you don't want to hear my idea. It's not.
Okay, what was that,
hearing.
Jot?
Is there sign language? Maybe he can
He's invisible.
Can he do Can he be a mime? Act out things to.
He could be anything he wants to be. I just don't know if he'd be very good at it.
I think Talia prefers her butlers who can't speak, to be honest, and just listen.
It's the best way to shut up and get the job done.
I just really want to make sure he's serving a butler now.
You're making me the butler because I have to be within 60 feet of him all the time. I'm just doing somatic bonus action move, bonus action bring him a drink, bonus action open the door, bonus action this.
It's such a good mental image. Just this invisible dude wearing a suit. Anyways, it's fine. It's great. We're gonna do this at some point. I've changed my long-term goal, Havoc.
Okay.
Oh gosh.
So there was a movie, I never saw it, I don't know what it's about, but it's called We Own a Zoo. I want ours to be We Own a Bar. We own a bar. The love relationship. So are we gonna go over to the bent nail now?
Sure.
Yeah,
Kai?
that's where we're going.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
So once again, as you move forward, walking in front of this place, you see, this very large bent nail hanging out of the sign. No words or anything like that, but it seems pretty straightforward of what this place's name is. The front contains this display of very ornate wooden furniture, very nice looking stuff, as well as some bows and crossbows and such. As you move inside, the door being open, this bell hanging above it chimes as you do so. I hate that everybody's lagging right now. There we go. You see another half-elf standing behind the counter, who turns around to look at you. As he does so, you see behind him there's the counter is just lined with rows of finely carved like wooden canes, quarterstaffs, as well as wooden shields. As you move forward, looking into there, you see this half-elf smiling, a very, very big smile as he looks at you. He says, "Welcome to the Vintnell. What is it I can help you with? Are you interested in a new quarterstaff, or maybe you need a new rocking chair? What is it I can help you with today?"
Do you have beds?
With that, he nods. Says, "Yes, I've made a few bed frames. Some very simple, 4 corners and a brace for a mattress, or for some straw and such. Some very ornate, very large ones as well, with towering kind of banisters going up that you can hang things from, and all this other fun stuff. What is it you're looking for specifically?"
What are the price ranges from simple to ornate?
Well, it depends on what you want. The somewhat ornate ones I did spend quite a bit of time working on, but the simpler ones were much quicker and therefore much cheaper, but still highest of quality, I assure you. The lesser ones, the ones that are just very simplistic but very functional, they will set you back 5 silver pieces for each one. I have 3 in stock currently, but I could have some more constructed fairly quickly within the next 10 days. The more ornate ones will run a bit more. Some of the smaller ones, accommodating for at least 2 people to be in the same bed comfortably, basically describing like a queen size. I will run you about 15 gold pieces for the structure on that, 20 if you would like a mattress and such provided, and some of my more ornate ones, the ones that I'm very proud of, will run about 20 gold pieces to start on those.
How about one of your more simple designs that you have out in stock? How much would that run with a mattress?
With a mattress, thanks for a moment. Depending on the quality, I do have some feather beds in the back, as well as some a bit more crude, but still functional, filled with straw and some furs and such. For the simpler ones, it would run you 7 silver pieces rather. For the matches be expensive, you know. But for one of the nicer ones, we'll say 8 silver pieces. Saying gold, Jesus.
Well, I think I'd like to take one of your simpler frames, but the nicest mattress you've got. Any bedding sheets and pillows along those lines. Care more about the mattress than the frame at the moment. And
with that, he nods. He says, "Very well. I can get that provided for you, along with all the accoutrements and such. We just kind of roll it all into one. I have partnerships with other places, cloth makers and such. With that, he describes it and kind of tallies it up, and I said about 8 silver pieces for everything. But as he says, where will I have my man deliver it to?"
Trollskull Manor.
As you say that, his eyes widen a bit. He says, "Oh, I thought one Volothamp Gadarm owned that residence. Have you bought it from him?"
We
Yes.
Yes.
As you say that, he kind of wrings his hands a bit. He's like, "Well, if you did purchase Trollskull Manor, it's a very, very nice establishment. Surely you would like one of the more ornate ones to fill it."
Well, we're actually renovating it for historical purposes, and we know that when it was originally built, such fine work hadn't yet been around, so we're going pretty basic on these ones as we are founding the group of the restoration of historic buildings in the North Ward Foundation.
Persuasion check.
Oh.
So as you say
do you
that,
want to donate to our GoFundMe?
we have a Kickstarter we started yesterday, please. So as you say that, you see this man nodding along with you and kind of doing this. I'm nodding along, paying very apt attention. He says, "That's interesting. I understand now. Oh well, for someone renovating something here in my neighborhood here, you know what?" He looks over at Risk. He says, 6 silver pieces for you, my friend. I'll knock off a little bit for my new neighbors."
And that's so kind of you. We'll buy all of them then. We'll buy out your stock of that set. You said you had 3 of them, right?
Yes.
Because you're being so kind, and we want to support our neighbors, and we want to help our community grow and support local businesses, then we'll buy all 3 of them. That sounds great.
As you say that, he nods. He says, "You know how to do business in that case. Well, for everything, I'll give it all 3 of them with mattresses and everything else for 15 silver pieces. Not a penny more. Not a copper more."
I'll hand Risk a gold piece.
Cover the rest.
All right. 5 silver
We
pieces.
still need 2 more beds, though, right?
Yeah, it's only 3.
Okay.
No, you can share with me, Jot.
Well, do you have any tiny beds?
Nice. He leans over the counter.
Like
Yeah,
for a
I'm
large, like a large dog. Like your prized Great Dane, like that size bed.
That's fucked up.
Did you just call her a bitch?
Oh my
No,
god!
I called her about the size of a purebred Great Dane. Like a really giant dog.
I feel like she's not
I
even
don't
that
think
big,
she's 180
honestly.
pounds.
Yeah.
Mister.
No.
Maybe
Like
she's
she-
gonna have company.
Never know. All right. So saying that,
Or blow it up.
The man looking over, he says, "Oh, I'm so sorry, I did not see you down there." He kind of addresses everybody standing there. He's like, "My name is Talosovanar, or Talosovanar Fellbranch. My friends just call me Tally." Don't worry, I'll copy and paste this.
Thank you, God.
Tally.
It's always a guessing game.
That's tough.
Nope. Yeah, nowhere close.
Talosovanar.
Yeah, I got the last name right, but
Yeah, Fellbranch.
That's what I got.
I was just gonna go with Tally Fellbranch.
Please, Tally. I was like, "Say, please just call me Tally." And with that, he goes through and kind of lists off his stock and everything. And for everybody, he says for the 3 smaller beds with mattresses, 15 silver pieces, gold and 5 silver pieces if you want to break it down that way. For 2 more regular sized beds, he says he doesn't have the simple ones. You'll have to go up to a little bit higher ones, and they start at 1 gold piece each. But he'll go ahead. He said he will forego the mattress costs and everything else, and just charge 1 gold piece solid for each bed.
And how many does he have of those?
He says he has 4.
I'm going to. And this is the larger or the upgraded ones.
Yeah, think of what he was offering before. Think that straight bed frame, has 4 corners down to the legs and everything, and then has something to hold a mattress, and that's it. These actually have the posts that go up to the edges and such, and has a small headboard on it.
I'll kind of look over to him and say, do you also have one similar make in perhaps a child size?
Perhaps what now?
Child
Child
size.
side, this is what he said.
Child size. With that, he thinks for a moment. He says, I do have one smaller that I made some time ago. The deal fell through for it. It was a custom made one. It's a bit more ornate. Costs just a tiny bit more, but yes, I do have one smaller.
Oh, I can just use a regular bed. It's fine. I can just use one of the plain ones too. It's fine.
But
It's
if
fine.
you
What
have
if you get
one,
lost in the blankets?
but it's quite all right. So
What if you fall out of it and get hurt?
I'll take
Can
the
we
4.
get safety rails installed?
Oh my god.
I'll take the 4 of the little more ornate, and then the smaller bed as well. How much would you charge me for that?
For the 4 large ones, that'll be 4 gold pieces, and for the child's bed, the one that I constructed for someone else, that would be another. Thanks.
I mean, you are getting bulk purchases here, my friend.
We don't have that many bedrooms in the house. We have more beds than we do rooms now.
With that,
Do
he
you want
nods.
to start a brothel or not?
Me? Not particularly.
That was your goal.
That wasn't my goal.
You were there.
I was present.
You let this happen. So as he starts to describe the bed a bit, he says that it's kind of built up with the four corners and such, has a bit of a larger, not larger for size, but more ornate headboard onto it. He says there's 4 crystals around the edges of it, because that's what this one I just googled looks like. He says that he has it painted white and such, and it's a bit frilly, depending on who you are proceeding it for. But I think for a bulk purchase and such, just under 2 gold, 17 silver pieces total for it, along with the 4 gold for the others.
So 17 plus the 4 for the other, so 21 total.
Or sorry, 4.7. There you go. For everything.
4.7 gold for everything?
Yep. For
No,
all.
Oh.
yeah,
I'll
5.7. Because you said
I'll-
1.7 for the tiny one, right? Oh.
Oh yeah, 5.7 is right. Yeah, 5.7. 17.
so
silver
yeah,
pieces total.
I'll place 6 gold pieces and look to the rest of the party and say, I have purchased our beds. The other beds can be used in our guest room should we have guests. You guys will not be sleeping on lesser than beds or mattresses while you are living in our home. So allow me to do this for my newfound friends.
Super nice of you, Kai.
Very generous of you. If you ever want to take over the world, I've got your back.
I will perhaps take you up on that offer someday.
And so it begins.
And the transition begins.
Talia, I was wondering if I could ask you a question. Once we kind of inspect the beds and see the quality of the work, maybe you would want to work with us as the Foundation rebuilds Trollskull Manor. Maybe you could help us come up with a kind of like a style for the tap room as we're going to rebuild it. All the stools could look a certain way, and it could all be your design. You design the tables, you design the bar stools, and maybe if you want to start kind of thinking of some stylized ideas, and you can pitch them to us, and we can work out something to have you help us remake the furniture in the bar.
Who do you think I am? That is below me.
He was saying Tally,
Oh,
not Talia.
Tally, not to
I thought he said Talia.
I thought he said Talia too, and I was like, are
No.
you kidding me?
He specifically said to call him Tally.
Yeah.
I heard Talia, and I was like,
I'm glad we all had the same idea.
Yeah.
We're 99% sure you said Talia, not Talia. Because all of us were like, he's
My
talking
bad.
about beds with Talia. Let's see. This is
I thought
Literally
you-
all of us.
You were like bugged with me.
Damn it, we got
No.
all excited.
Talking to Tally, and I want him to start like thinking up ideas for the fresh new look of Trollskull Manor. I want to give him I want to make him feel like it's his chance, like all of his furniture, all of his unique designs could be on show in the historic Trollskull Manor.
The name isn't set in stone, by the way. Y'all do own this place. You can rename it.
We decided, didn't we?
That
Yeah.
was the name of the business, not the name of the location.
booze and boobs.
So as you're explaining all this, he kind of nods. Did you say what you planned on turning it into? If you were going to make it a tavern again, or
I don't know that we've for sure decided, but probably a tavern.
I mean, the taps
So it's
work, so I mean, we're most of the way to a tap room already. Now we just need the alcohol to go through.
So with that, he kind of nods. He says, "That would be an interesting proposition. Do you have any ideas yet of what it is you would like to do with the place?"
No idea, but start thinking about ideas. Because, we're going to, when we finalize what we want to do, we're going to shop around and get the best quotes and meet the right people and make sure we have all the best possible people we can working together on this project.
With that, he nods. He says, "Very well. I could definitely have you a good connection with the Woodworkers and Carpenters Guild as well, to make sure everything is up to snuff, as well as with Trollskull being in kind of a disrepair that it's in. Not trying to be rude, of course, but some of the wood paneling and such on the outside would need to be repaired as well, for your own benefit, of course, to invite customers and all that. And I could be a go-to or a possibly a constructor for you as well.
Yeah, you've seen it, so it probably isn't too much. Like if you were gonna ballpark what the repairs would be, just a guess. It's okay if you're not super accurate.
With that, he thinks, I'm not too sure exactly. Just from the outside, without really inspecting it, I don't want to give you a false number.
Oh, just guess.
Okay, 1 second.
100 gold.
And that was the end of Viz.
I mean, it's part of the neighborhood, right? Just external alone, you know. What do you think it would cost, eyeball? I mean, you just.
Seems like such a bright individual. Surely he's got the idea of what the market is in the area.
He's the first person we've met. I like him already.
As you ask about it, he kind of thinks for a moment. He says, "Well, just guessing once again, and this is of course factoring in, any fees that you would need to pay for the guilds and such like that. But just a guess, maybe 150 to 200 gold pieces."
Yeah, it's not too bad. I'm gonna turn around and talk to Rissa and say, "I want to throw up." Oh God! Can't afford that. I have 6.5 gold pieces to my name.
We'll think of something. We'll find some work. We've already done such great work as adventurers.
I need to go to woodworking school right now. Come back in 3 years and pick me up when I graduate.
But with that, he starts arranging all the finer details for the beds and such you ordered.
Hey, Ren,
he says
thank
you'll have
you so much for
a team
the
bring all of the
raid.
beds and
Welcome,
put them wherever you
friends.
need to. All of the
Happy to have you here.
moving fees and such like that have been already enrolled into the price. So subtract the gold and silver from your inventories for those that are paying for this, and you will have 6 beds.
6 beds.
6 beds, mattresses, sheets, linens, 1 set.
No.
It was 4.
4. It's 7.
5. I bought the 5 of us beds, and then Risk bought 3 beds.
Oh, so 8.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 beds then. Yes.
7.5.
7.5.
7.5.
7.5.
Jinx. All right, yeah. So 7.5 beds.
All right, all right. I guess I'll be in charge of taxes. I guess I'll start home expenses for the year, so at the end of the year we can deduct them and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, good luck with that.
All right, I'm the
Definitely have
accountant.
some work here.
This time on D&D, we play homeowners.
It's like D&D met The Sims.
Mm-hmm.
Adulting.
I told y'all, y'all have so much shit to do now.
I don't. I want to go.
Okay, so we'll say bye to Tally. Do we?
You need
want
to change his name.
Do we want to go look for repairmen, or just kind of visit all the shops around us?
Let's skip to the bookstore. I want to check out the bookstore.
Really? You don't want to see the person? I saw the person who knows the fire hand spell that's in your book, but did you see someone else who knew water hands?
I did see that.
Yeah.
So I also want.
I've never heard of the water hand spell.
Talia really likes the idea of someone having water hands.
So many different directions to take that.
Okay, let's go to Steam and Steel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Buy and save. Demon Steel.
Demons. I like these people are clearly Genasi. And I
Yeah.
was like, I need to double check how to pronounce that. And the first thread, it's like, okay, so anyone tell me whether or not what the official pronunciation of this? And the first reply is rhymes with cow.
Oh no.
Thanks, internet. You're super helpful. So Genasi. Okay, so as you make your way up to this new place, you still see smoke and steam billowing from the many windows of this place. This forges you typically see are open air all around them. They don't have walls and windows, doors, and such around them. But this one is enclosed. But you see all the windows, more than you could, would necessarily be needed for a regular building. Surround this place. All of them open as the steam and smoke are billowing out of it. Once again, as you walk in, you see this fire genasi and water genasi at work. Both of them hammering away at armor and weapons, respectively. As you walk in, you kind of see a small concrete pad kind of set out away from the forge that you kind of stop and wait on. You see that the water genasi raises his head and looks towards you all, tilting it to the side. And with that, he sets the breastplate that he was working on off to the side, kind of wipes sweat away from his brow, and then walks towards you, taking off the large gloves on his hands that he had redonned after quenching the metal earlier. With that, he walks up and nods to you all. Says, "My name is Avi. What brings you here to the Steam and Still today?"
We're just new to the neighborhood and wanted to see what all was around, and your place looked so interesting.
With that, he nods and says, "New to the neighborhood. Where is it, if I may ask, have you moved into?"
The Trollskull Manor.
Oh, my goodness, that is excellent. I had heard that it was purchased recently, but I never saw who it was. And with that, you see the man turning around, and as he does so, he waves over to the fire genasi, who catches the eye of Avi and walks over as well. This one, the fire genasi, much more heavily built. You see his arms bulging a bit inside of the tunic that he's wearing. He also wipes sweat away from his brow, kind of taking off and dusting off his gloves. Looks towards you all and says, "What is it?" With that, Abby turns around and says, "Imbric, these are our new neighbors." With that, Imbric looks at you all, kind of sizing you up from the appearance. Imbric. Nailed it. With that, he looks over and he says, "New neighbors. Well, are you here to buy anything?" And as he says that, you see Abby turning around and just slapping him kind of playfully on the arm. He says, "That'd be nice, Imbric. These are our new neighbors."
Did they make more steam?
That's not how they work.
What? They're not on fire and just on water? Okay.
No, that's not how that works. But as Abby slaps him and everything, he turns back towards you all and says, "I must apologize for my husband, Imbric. He is a bit antisocial sometimes, but he's a good fellow, just a bit brash." And as he says that, Imbric kind of raises an eyebrow. He says, "I can hear you. I'm standing right here, Abby." But with that, Imbric turns to you all and says, "My apologies. Welcome to the neighborhood."
What do you guys sell?
With that, Abby kind of motions behind him and says, "Well, we sell a little bit of everything. Anything that requires the most careful order of skilled smiths and metal forgers. I'm an armorer, and Imbric here is a weapon crafter."
I don't know enough about guilds. What other home repair things other than gate building and do they do appliances? Am I going to be insulting if I ask if they do I don't know what those guilds cover that would relate to the home.
With that, he
I don't want to ask that out loud because I don't want to be hit. I don't want him to fireball me.
How dare you?
I will say you all have a very general outlook on the guilds, right? So let me find my guild page because there's a couple of them.
Yeah, so when you say skilled craftsmen, that's electrician, HVAC, plumber, all those guys are skilled craftsmen, right?
Yeah,
or are these guys only metal workers?
Well, Abby mentioned they're part of the most careful order of skilled smiths and metal forgers. So you think blacksmiths, armor smiths, weaponsmiths, things like that, or anything that requires metal forging. So that could be, weapons and armor and such, but that could also be a door hinge. It could
Bathtub?
be a bathtub. Yeah, if you have a cast iron tub or something like that. Stuff of that nature. That's what they're going to do. There's a lot of guilds. I will post a screenshot of all the ones at my disposal that you can reference.
Tell them about the restoration project and see if maybe they want to help.
Yeah, so we're gonna be restoring the manor. There's a foundation or something. Okay, yeah, there's a foundation.
I mean, there will be.
And there will be a foundation.
But yeah, I mean, I told people there was a foundation. You're doing great. Keep going.
Okay.
So you said you're restoring the manor then, as Abby chimes in.
Yes. Yes, we're restoring it. We just got to look at it today, so, you know, we don't know what all needs to be done, but you guys do like metal stuff working?
That Abby, seeing you, kind of brandishes this warm smile as he smiles at you, says, "Yes, my dear. We craft a little bit of everything. Once again, our expertise is in armor and weapons of different nature. But that being said, we can craft pretty much anything, and as kind of required to be a part of the most careful order of skilled smiths and metal forgers."
Has anyone ever had a shield built for their home?
You say a shield?
Yeah. You know.
Oh, like an
an ornate shield that
I gotcha,
would go over the fireplace.
No, I was thinking like the entire length of the home. In times of war, giant ass shield to protect the home.
That'd be a cool front door, just like a really tall
It's just a big ass shield. As you say that, Abby kind of shakes his head. He says, "I do not know about a metal shield for it. Now that I've heard of things, arcane wards and things of that nature that have been put on some places. Even some locations here in Trollskull Alley have got them. There is a...
I'm writing that down. That seems important.
There is a shop, kind of motions off to the west. One Bookworm's Treasure. Oh, wait, no. Scratch that.
Nope.
Am I wrong?
Is it the cat eye one?
Somebody
Those two seem the
offers
most
magic
likely
services. Who was
to
it?
have most magical things.
The bookstore probably doesn't offer magical things. There's probably enough books, and then you go to the magic store.
Which one was the bookstore?
Bookworm's Treasure.
Bookworm's
T6.
Treasure.
There's also the
T6,
one
right?
That had a
Yeah,
sign
T6.
with a cat's eye on it.
Yeah, it's orange and
That
black.
one seemed like it could be magical.
Why do you think a cat eye is magical?
I
Cause
read this somewhere. Where the heck? How did I-
Cause just seems magical-y.
Because cats are evil, so they have to be magical.
I don't think that's how magic works. Or a cat.
Cats are dicks.
So as you're asking that, once again, Abby pipes in saying, "I've never heard of anyone using an actual shield for a residence, but I have heard of those getting services from practitioners of magic that are able to put, arcane wards on residences. I think old Rishal, the page turner at the Bookworm's Treasure, offers those services as well."
Oh, good to know. Can you make magical weapons and armor? Oh,
Can you make magic paper?
With that, Abby shakes his head. Unfortunately, no. We not very much practitioners in the arcane. We're more mundane in our practices.
Still very cool to watch you. Like you were using your hand to like quench the sword.
With that, Abby nods, says yes, and with that, he kind of turns around. As he does so, he raises this blue hand up. You see this barrel kind of behind him, full of water. The water kind of dances out and swirls a bit. He says, "With my ancestry, you see, it gives me a little bit of control over the water." As he kind of motions over and nudges Imbric, it says, as it allows him to cool his own temper with his own flames over here.
How long have you two lived in this area, in the North Ward?
With that, they both think, said, "We've been here for, Let's see, and you see Abby looking over at Imbric, who's just kind of sullenly looking over you all, not super interested in this, and with that, Abby looks up and says, "What was it? How long have we been married, Imbric? 10 years now? We moved in here, 2 years after we were married? Yeah, so about 8 years or so."
So, what do you two want to see out of Trollskull Manor? I mean, it's a historic part. It's bringing people to the area. You know, if you could imagine Trollskull Manor as something, what would it be? Would it be a shop? Would it be a place for people to rent rooms out of? Or, is it going to be just a historical piece for people to come and look at and appreciate?
Or a brothel.
Or for you to go whoring?
As you're asking that, Imbric chimes in and says, honestly, I just want to see it not look like crap anymore, if you don't mind. Because what it does, I don't care. Abby kind of sighs, looking at Imbric, and shakes his head. Says, honestly, it's a place we've heard a lot about, and rumors and suggestions and things of that nature. And when we learned a little bit about where we were moving to here in Trollskull Alley, I honestly would just like to see someone care for it.
That very much is our goal. With such fine shops as yours in this area, we hate to have our home being an eyesore. But we've owned it for about 3 hours now, and restoring it's going to be a pretty high priority for us.
As you say that, Abby once again nods, says, of course. I am glad that someone is trying to restore it. It's not going to be an easy task based on, of course, what I've only seen from the outside, but I think if you all seem like you have good heads on your shoulders, you'll do just fine. And, of course, if you need any assistance with any metal forging or anything of that nature, and you see Abby kind of scanning you all and seeing a few weapons and such, and if you needed any of your instruments there replaced or maybe upgraded upon, please let us know.
It's very nice to meet you both.
With that, Abby kind of bows his head, and you see him looking up towards Imbric, who's about 6 inches taller than Abby. Seeing Imbric just kind of plainly staring at you all, Abby reaches up and bows his head a little bit down. I said, "Be nice, Imbric." And with that, they both bow and say, "If you have any questions, please do stop by. It was very lovely meeting you all."
Do we get the feeling that this is also here and the Bent Nail, that this is also their homes? Kind of like in the Trollskull where the top part is like the home and the bottom part's the business. Do I get the feeling that these buildings are like that here? Like they live here and their shop is the bottom floor kind of thing?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you guys want to go to the bookstore?
Yes. Yes.
And not go to the apothecary? Or the cat eye place?
All the shops. All the shops.
I know, but what do we go to now?
Books.
Yeah, we'll go to the bookstore. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So as you head up to the northwest, going back down Saradoon Street after getting off Thunderstack Way, you find yourself back at this, somewhat larger store, written out as the Bookworm's Treasure. As you're moving forward, you see this. As you move inside of it, rather, you see the inside of the shop is decorated with just beautiful hardwood. And as you enter, the earthy scent of old books just permeates the air around. As you're looking up, moving in, you saw this building was quite large. It was 3 stories, and as you're looking in, you see that at least 2 stories of this building are just full of books, just libraries and such. And as you're looking around everything, it almost, those of you infatuated with books in the party, it almost seems like this place contains more shelves than the building should be able to hold. That's how full this place is of books. As you're all entering into, once again, you don't really see a counter at first until you start walking around for a minute or so, and then you finally weave your way in between these bookshelves, and you finally see a counter. Behind the counter, you see a somewhat short-looking dragonborn, only about 5 feet tall. Gold in its coloration, who looks around at you all as you're moving in, and this kind of throaty but yes, somewhat kind of soft voice. He says, "Welcome to the Bookworm's Treasure. Are you looking for something in particular?"
Oh goodness.
Are you Rishal?
With that, the dragonborn nods, says, "Yes, my name is Rishal the Page Turner."
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to not pronounce your title if that was implied to me. Abby and Imbric recommended that we come see you.
With that, Rishal nods his head. Those are nice folks. They did well to see you. Were you looking for any books in particular?
Actually, we are, but we also wanted to introduce ourselves because we are now the owners of Trollskull Manor just down the street. And we wanted to introduce ourselves and get to know everyone. And we also wanted to talk a little bit of business with you about arcane glyphs for added protection for such an amazing historical site here in Waterdeep.
With that, you see Rochelle walking around as you're mentioning that from behind the counter. He moves toward you, wearing these kind of flowing white robes, very, studious looking. With that, he walks around and kind of gets really close to you all as he grabs both your hands and bows to you, shaking your hands, moving to each of you in turn. It is very nice to meet you. It's nice to see that such pleasant folks are moving down the street for me. I do hope that a plan to renovate that old manor is underway. It is such a rich history encompassing it that I've read, and he kind of motions behind him, some of these books mentioning the different owners through the years, as well as some of the history behind it as well. I hate to see it in its
Those
current
are some of
state.
the books we want, by the way, so I'll have you show us those later. But yes, we're working on a foundation now, raising money to rebuild and restore such an amazing part of Waterdeep. It's just the best part of our history, and it's about time that people step forward and turn things into pieces of art that can be appreciated by all, and also turn a little bit of profit for the city as well. It's important that buildings give back to the city and kind of help community grow.
With that, he nods, says, that's an excellent deed that you're trying to accomplish. I do hope you the best of luck in that. As far as you said, arcane wards, I do offer my services. I am a practitioner of the arcane myself. I'm able to put a few glyphs of warding here and there to protect establishments. It's not a cheap sort, unfortunately. Not a lot of people can offer that, and it is a bit taxing on my resources to do so. But I also do offer all the, he kind of motions around once again, all of these books, either for renting or for sale if you would like to take them permanently. I also have a decent stock of spell scrolls, as well as I take custom orders for spells as well.
You're familiar with Trollskull Manor. What do you think an adequate amount of protection would be added to it? What do you think that would cost? I trust your judgment. You are a practitioner. You're well experienced. You are familiar with the area, and you know the kind of things that it would need protecting from. So I trust your rough estimate.
With that, he thinks for a moment. He says, well, for a building that size, and depending on what level of security you would like to have, I typically charge about 300 gold pieces per glyph of warding that I place on our premises.
And how many do you think would cover that building sufficiently?
I don't know.
That's okay. 300 per glyph is good. We'd probably want one per window, per door, things like that. All the different points of interest. I'm definitely curious about what we can do to help you now that we're a part of this community, and we want to make sure we help represent this little community, this little neighborhood of ours well. We want to make sure everyone works together for common causes. So what can Trollskull Manor do to help you?
With that, you see Rashal thinking for a moment. Says, well, once upon a time, Trollskull Manor was also a tavern, and it was, he thinks, somewhat fancy, for lack of a better description. It brought in a lot of business into this area, and it actually helped out all the businesses around it in that process. So if you were to, of course, doing it for your benefit, as well as the area around you, be able to fix up and restore to what it once was, then I would, of course, benefit from that as well.
That's good. That's something we want to try and work for. Is we don't want to come in here and stick out like a sore thumb. We don't want to differ too much from what the values of the community are, and we want to make sure we all can work together towards common goals, because it's great when we can work together and the community can have a discount in the tavern and we can have a discount on the arcane glyphs. It works out great for everyone, and the whole place is safe and protected, and it will of course cover material components and things like that, but there's ways that we can work out and help each other and grow our businesses together.
And we totally want to have benefits for the area and other businesses and other people. We want to have friends with benefits, just supporting one another.
You could start a thing like a refer a friend code, and when I get 10 punches, I get 1 arcane glyph free.
Trollskull puncher card. All right. So as you're saying all that, Rashal nods to you and says, "Well, when the day comes that you have established a business here alongside all the rest of them, I would be more than happy to work together, as it were. Depending on, like I said, the increased business, if it was to bring to me, then of course I would feel obligated, but more so obliged, to assist you as well with glyphs of warding or spells, anything of that nature."
I think that'll be excellent. Could you show me the books about Trollskull Manor, kind of the history of it, the owners, and things about it throughout time? I think that would really benefit the Foundation as we looked at those things, as we kind of decided the style to going forward.
Okay. So as he leads you back, he has a small section where he's got some kind of organization going on. You're not entirely sure how he does it, but he seems to know where everything is. As he leads you back, you start to learn a little bit of the history. More tales lining up with what Volo talked about, basically detailing that this is where a major battle of the Second Trollskull War was fought. Basically where the Waterhavians were able to push back the tides and force the trolls back to the troll wall. You learn a little bit of previous owners. You know that this place has been, that Trollskull Manor rather, has been everything from just an ornate house, a mansion of some sort, for some nobles and such, to being renovated into a tavern some time ago, several decades before, long before the previous owner obviously owned it. You learn other little bits and information about it, and you all feel that you've started to get a little bit more information about the world around you and start establishing yourselves here in Waterdeep and here in Trollskull Alley, where you now own a house. You now have met a few people and possibly made some friends. And things have kind of slowed down a little bit compared to the last night's festivities. But that is where we're going to end the session for.
Cool. Yay.
We got a house.
All right.
We got a house, y'all.
We can't afford this.
We can't afford the house at all. Havoc, I would just be curious to know if he had books on, and we can do this next session or whatever, that's fine, or in Discord, about monsters, like specifically ones with like tentacle faces.
Yeah, maybe if he had like a manual of monsters.
I wasn't gonna go that metagame with it.
Maybe he does.
Maybe.
That's the thing. That's the thing with Volo's books, right?
True.
Monster
Yeah,
manual and stuff like that. They exist in this world. Yeah. That's why they're written the way they are. Is that they have game mechanics and stuff like that in them, but they literally have other stuff.
The book Volo said he was gonna find for me, and like give me a copy. I want to find it here, read it before I see Volo again. So when he gives me a copy, I can be like, "Oh, I forgot I had read this one. I totally didn't not read one of your books."
All right, I'm going to stream. I'll be right back.
I do.
All right. So that is going to do it for tonight's session. Thank you guys for tuning in. Oh, and I have the wrong screen showing here. Hold on. Let me fix it. Wrong screen showing. That should be here. Yeah, that's better. Cool. So thanks for tuning in. Very much appreciate it. This week, or this coming week, is going to be kind of sparse here. It's going to be very limited on what we're going to actually do. Sunday is going to be Ascension. Monday, I'm going to start doing what I'm calling Monday 76, playing Fallout 76. just kind of filling in some time during the Monday sessions for us. Tuesday, Tyranny of Dragons. Wednesday is Giants. And then we're on a break for a while because I'm not going to be here and a lot of people aren't going to be here. So hope you'll tune in for some of the sessions and things we have coming up this week. That is going to do it for us, though. I am going to find us somebody to go and say hi to. Again, thank you guys for being here. It's wonderful having all of your interactions and chatting with one another and with us. Everybody appreciates it. I think we're just gonna have to find somebody that's on right now. Let me see. Anybody still on? I don't think so. Nope. It looks pretty quiet here. Let's just go to Nerdlopedia. We'll do that. Here we go. Go over, say hi to Nerdlopedia. They're wonderful, wonderful individuals. Thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys on Sunday for our Ascension campaign. And until then, if I don't see you, have a safe and happy holidays. We'll see you when we get back from after Thanksgiving. So have a good night, guys. See you soon.